Okay. Oh, I think we're good to go. Hello, everyone. I hope everything looks fine. We might hold on. We might just make this a little bit smaller. All right, just tuck me in the corner right over here. Also going to reduce that. There we go. I think I'm fine with something like that. I don't have the chat up, but hi. I hope we can get a couple people in here so we can kind of like test volume, see how things are. We're just going to be doing a pretty relaxed paint stream. Okay? Nothing too crazy. I do want to get this on. We're going to turn this exposure down. And I'm fine with something like that. Go ahead and bring you over here for the paint water. Move the keyboard over a little bit. Okay. I think we're looking good. I think the camera's a little bit more to the side than I want it to be, but you know, that's fine. I don't want to mess with it right now. Can everyone hear me? I hope you can. I hope things look fine enough. It's looking like it's picking up. I just want to make sure I don't get the volume too loud. Cool. I know breakcore isn't everyone's favorite fucking genre, but I'm the streamer, damn it. I get to pick. We're doing AdMech today. We're gonna have some fun with that. Hold on, I gotta get a glove. Oh, let me do the YouTube thing of, hey guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Liking the stream lets more people see it while I'm live, which just allows me to fucking cascade and do a bunch of bullshit, I think, question mark? Who knows? What, do I have an empty? Yeah. So one thing I've seen people do is they'll take like empty sprues and with their dry brushes, they'll just kind of like run along the ridges. I think also this is like when you're trying to get like the extra paint off of it, right? That's when they'll like do it a bunch. And I've seen people make it to where like they make like a mold to where like everything is like a, you know, you'll take like the extra bits that you have, right? Like say I'm not going to use the sledgehammer. You'll make a board with just all the extra stuff just so you have something that's bumpy and you can like brush it along to get all the excess paint off and all that. These we aren't going to be dry brushing. Right now to start, it's just going to be a bunch of dry brushing. And then we're going to set some terrain paste on these. Mostly like these are technically battle ready. But I do want to get a little bit more done. Where's my gray? I also had to go pick up some more black, which is fine, but it was definitely annoying. Got a neutral gray right here. There we go. Oh man, it is super over to the right. I am going to fix the camera just a little bit. I'm going to slide it along this side and then angle it a bit like that and then down. There we go. I think I'm fine with that. Bloof, I don't want to paint my sister's models. Frey is really spiky. Dude, I've been having... You're talking to the wrong person right now. I've been having so much fun painting sisters right now. I got into Kill Team, and that has just like... I have re-fallen in love with the game. There's so much flavor in that game. Things are allowed to be cool while not necessarily like super broken. I say is like Murder Wing is right there, and I've heard that it recently got like nerfed. I'm doing this to where I just get some extra little, you know, paint off of this. Boom. There we go. But like, so I got the Insidious Kill Team, right? and I have been fucking loving it. Um, it's been so much fun to just like use and like all the different little like things you got going on in that team is just super intricate and super fun. So I'm the wrong person to say paint your kill team. I haven't even assembled your kill team, big dog. I still gotta do that. I'll probably get it done by Tuesday. I'll probably do it like Monday or something like that. But I'll get it assembled, and then the Imperial Navy breachers. That's not too bad of a paint job either. I can probably get it done by Tuesday if you wanted to come out and play. Murder Wing and Wolf Scout scared me. I've heard that Wolf Scouts are good as well. I haven't gotten super into the meta of Kill Team. I've played about 4 games. I hope this doesn't shake the camera too much. But I don't know. I got into it playing the Brood Brothers Kill Team, which was just like, oh my god. It felt like GSC had tricks again. It felt so nice. Genuinely, it was just so fun to play that. But then I picked up the Insidians, and like the little like Rube Goldberg machine or whatever the fuck it's called that you do in that, to where you're like passing around inspiring and like trying to get these benedictions off and you're a bit more defensive. It's a very cool team. And I've been having a lot of fun with it, and painting them has been a lot of fun. Do I have my models up here? No, I think I have it downstairs. I could grab them, but I'm working on the scheme for them, and oh, they might still be in the car? Question? No, I think I brought them. No, my Emperor's Children's in the car, which I do need to go grab. But oh god. Yeah. The overall, oh, that was way too whatever. This is just a base coat. The overall team itself is very fun, and I've been doing like an old school like nightly theme. You know, here I've got pictures. They're also really good in 40k right now because there's a lot of people trying out psychers. I randomly like doing a million mortals to do. Yeah, dude, a lot of psychic right now is great. Dude, in Kill Team, they're just immune to psychers. It's actually oppressive. Who was the last person I sent a picture to? Probably, here we go. We're going to save this image. Then we're going to save this image. Okay, and then hear me out, chat. What we're going to do is we're going to add to this scene an image, okay? Because I don't know how to do this cleanly with OBS to where I can just bring something on and show you. But I can do... Oh, God. Oh, good heavens. Don't worry, she'll be normal size soon. This is what I've been working on. The quartering is a little off. Like I got to, is this the first one? Yeah. Like I did the shield in like a green and purple, and then on the hip it's just purple, and then on the shoulder it's green. So I know that's technically not like correct to the theme. But oh, it's fun. I've been liking it. And it feels very cool. And the colors are just, oh, so good. I gotta figure out what I want to base it with, but yeah. I heard Grey Knights refresh. They're doing a T-Suns versus Knights Kill Team, which will be hype. Oh, so the quartering, it sounds like a lot, but honestly, it's not that bad. What you essentially want to do is you'll just make a rough outline of like the 2 boxes, right? You like base it the one color. I always recommend doing it the lighter of the 2 colors, right? So for this, I did the teal, right? And then you come back and you make a rough box. I like how I'm trying to use my mouse to like show you, but that, oh well. And then you kind of, you know, you work your way up into the square instead of just trying to like start it immediately. It's very cool. I don't have sound. I was just told to yell at you. The model looks sick though. The purple and the blue complement each other well. Yeah, that's been my go-to combo for the longest time. Like just having like my GSC, right? Do I have a GSC model roughly near me, kind of. Um, so this one's they're offshoot colors, right? But like this teal it's the Pro Quill Jade, and that's the same jade that I have on the Sisters model, right? And then that burgundy, it's close enough to the purple. Have I been painting my EC at all yet? No, and I feel so bad. The league that I'm in for the my LGS, I'm running Emperor's Children because people. Oh god, that's way too much paint. Jesus, that's fine. We're gonna go up to like a white on Thulia. People didn't want to like really see me play GSC, so I started up Emperor's Children, and I've been having a lot of fun with them. But boy howdy have I just not had time to paint them at all. I just haven't had time, man. And I'll be honest, I've been, even on the days to where I do have time, my mental is just so shot right now from just life that oh boy is it hard to just like do work generally, if that makes sense. Like setting aside time to do obligations is big rough right now. So we'll get to the Emperor's Children like eventually, but quartering. Quartering it here. Let me go get the model real quick because it's gonna be easier to physically show you. One sec. And I'm a heathen who has this stuff in like my dice tray box that I got from a friend. So this is what I'm working with. This is the only painted one, by the way. All of them are just airbrushed purple right now. But so this is the quartering. The camera could focus, that'd be great. The quartering is just you take a slab, right? So this entire shield, or we can even say like this shoulder fabric, right? And it's quartered, meaning you have it in 4 different quarters. And the opposite quarters are the same color than their neighbor color, right? So we have black, teal, black, teal. And the way to do this effectively is you want to come in to where you just roughly draw like a black square and it's not at the line. And then you'll draw another black square. And then you just slowly bring it in, if that makes sense. So you just like start here and then you slowly move it up and then slowly move it up. And if ever there's points to where like you went over a little bit, you just take your teal and you walk that line back and you just go back and forth, right? And so we did that with the shield to where we have a teal quarter, a purple, black, black. And then right here on the little hip piece, we have purple, black, purple, and then an assumed black up in this corner that's hidden. Does that make sense? Here, let's do, so this is one of the sisters, right? Let's do a funny little thing real quick. Not agree with the mouse movements, I can't see it. I tried quartering on some Tzeentch Demons, which is a lot of fun. It was often my first time trying it because it was rough. It is rough when you're like first getting into it, but it was one of the first things I had to do when I started doing like commission work. And God, I'm probably gonna like be retiring from doing commission work because I am not that good at it. But when you get some practice with it, it is really fun, right? So for this shoulder thing, we're gonna go ahead and just base coat all of this with the jade. This is just gonna be a small little tutorial on how to quarter because it's one of my favorite techniques. And when you know how to do it just right, it's very fun to do and it looks very impressive. And if you can get it down pretty easy, then people are gonna go, whoa, that looks sick. And you're gonna go, thanks, dog. I totally didn't just like shortcut my way. It's like using Nuln Oil, right? Yeah, it's like a checkerboard. That's a great example, Skella Lord. So we're gonna let this teal just kind of sit there for a second and dry up. While we do that, I'm gonna continue to dry brush the stuff that I need to for the AdMech here. Don't tell anyone that's gonna be at the event, but I'm more than likely bringing AdMech to a GT next week, because I noticed that I have all of 2 teams events and 3 RTTs with like good placings for the RTTs, sure, but between 2 teams events to where I did honestly kind of dog shit, and then the 3 RTTs, I am 11th in the world for AdMech. And so I've realized that if I do like a legitimate push, there's a world to where I could get best in faction for AdMech and GSC this year. Also, I have enough ITC points in GSC that I'm also leading for Forces of the Hive Mind. So then on top of that, there's a world to where if I play my cards right, I could be walking away with 3 ITC trophies this year, to where I have GSC, Forces of the Hive Mind, and AdMech, which would be fucking sick. But who knows? I'm gonna take this light gray. I added a little bit too much white, so I'm not gonna mix it all in. I'm gonna take a little bit off. Fine. This is kind of what you want that board for that I was talking about, to where you have like all the little extra little sprue bits. Because right now I just kind of go on my arm, but then we can just kind of bring it in and then not be as heavy-handed, right? I'm not going to go dig into the corners like I was with the first color, but I'm still going to hit some good parts. I'm going to hit the front here. Cool. That's good enough for me. These fellas, I'm just kind of going to get the exterior parts of the robe, everything that's up and mixed in with wires, I'm going to leave to be its own thing. My scheme for AdMech, by the way, as you can probably tell, is very, very simple. I wanted to do a monochrome army. A lot of people do call the scheme like pretty lazy, which is unfortunate, because like this wasn't oh, I want to meta chase and just get an AdMech army done up quick. Like I really have like tried to make this work and like look as good as it can, but I got to make it stand out a little bit more. A lot of it was obviously like speed done, because obviously I'm, you know, dry brushing. So I do want to go back and like touch up cloaks and all that kind of stuff. But man, once again, this is my second army, all right? I can only dedicate so much time. Boom, 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 boom. There's some black and orange schemes that look amazing. Yeah, there definitely are. The thing is that I've noticed for a lot of armies, when they do the monochrome thing, they still have like a color in there, right? To where it's like a glowing green or blue or red that like really makes it pop. And that's fair. That's, you know, those still look great, but I want my glowing to like even be just like the white, right? So I want it to be full only black and white. And so yeah, it's got limitations, basically, I think is the cleanest way to say it. Your son wants to paint his Stompa to look like the Hollow Knight, which is monochrome. That's actually super sick. The little bug guy, right? That Hollow Knight. There is... Oh, wait, no. Yes? Yes. Here's black. Right? Yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're going to come back to the lady. And here's our little, you know, mini tutorial we got going on of how to quarter things. We're just going to take our brush. It's a little awkward because we have this, you know, bend right here. But I'm just going to go right here. And there's like, I don't think the camera's going to pick it up, but there's a small little mold line right here from having to connect the fabrics at this point right here, which is I'm going to use as a nice guiding line and just come in on just the right side of it. I'm not going to actually lead up directly to it. And I'm just going to fill in this segment right here. Now, normally what we'd want is that it would probably end about right here, and then you would just go over. But because of the bend, you do have to hook it a little bit. So I'm just going to bring this around and bring that like this and fill in the box. And then same thing here. I'm just going to lead this up. We went a little aggressive in terms of where we're drawing the line, but that's fine. Bring that line down. And so now we've got these two squares that don't connect, and I'm just going to slowly walk them together. I almost want to like angle this out to be a little bit like the fabric's being pulled just a little bit. So I might even make the line just a little bit more angled in. And then cool. So now we have our rough squares. And then I'm going to come back with this jade right here. And then like there's a couple parts that just overreach to make it a straight line. And I'm just going to mark those guys out and essentially make it to where everything feels like a straight line, right? To where it feels like it flows with the fabric. There's no like bumpies or random little things. If there was a line in this, it is fully like, if it's curving because that's the fabric, not because there's bumpies in it, right? I'm even going to reclaim some of this and put that to be right there. Oh god, because of the light, to have you guys just be able to see the model, it's a little bit difficult to see it on my end, if that makes sense. Boom, boom. There we go. And then roughly, now we have a corded sleeve, right? And we can like do some highlights in here to make it stand out a little bit, but that's basically the premise of getting it set down. And then at that point afterwards, you can go ahead and highlight it as ever you want. Does that make sense? Is this the same technique to do diamonds? It's the same technique I would use to do diamonds, right? To where like, if I wanted to do a diamond here, I would make a rough little square shape, and then I would come back in with the gray to like set the lines, and then, you know, do your little X pattern inside of it. So like, yeah, totally. You 100% can. Word stuff and things. What was I doing? I was doing this. Okay. So now we have our like light gray for the fabrics. One thing I've noticed is that for like the ones that I called done originally, like stuff like this, was that this gray, like it bled into it way too much. And let me get like some of the other ones. So models like Call, if you'll notice, has this bright white that punches out. And so him, and then like some of the Rangers as well, they have this really nice bright white to them, at least at the tips, to where like you'll see in here, right? It goes pretty quickly into a black right underneath this backpack, right? If you see where I'm pointing. So it's still going to look good and allow you to still have a very big contrast. Okay, time to get Frey out. I finished the actual character the other day, but now it's the trim of the mech. Yeah, the trim is gonna, oh god, that's what's keeping me from my Emperor's Children right now, is the trim. It's big rough out here. Is this the same technique to do diamonds for queens? It's great. It's called, I just started testing GSC after meeting Fluke Tacoma. Not a 3.0 level yet for sure. I think one of the coolest things I will say that I've had the pleasure of seeing is a lot of people getting into specifically GSC, like because of the videos that I do, or at least like it's the straw that broke the camel's back to get them into it, which I don't know, it just feels very cool, you know? Um, this, while bright, isn't as, I mean, compared to the last color, it's pretty good. Um, this should be fine. It's been a hobby project for so long. Finally getting it on the table is great. Rolling through the activation is definitely a roadblock. Floof bashed my teammate at BAO recently, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. Which were you? There was like a massive team there that I played like 2 or 3 of your guys from the same team. Were you possibly teammates with the Custodes and CSM opponents that I had? I don't remember their names. I know the Custodes guy had a really cool name, but I don't for the life of me remember. And I feel terrible for that, but hee hee, smile. Okay, this should be, yeah. So also for this, to help like give a little bit of texture, oftentimes I like doing the dry brushing from like different angles, because if you'll see here, like these colors are going this direction, right? But the gray underneath was kind of coming at a different angle. And so it helps kind of give this overlapping like linens texture that looks very cool. It might not be that noticeable from like the tabletop, but it's just something to where like, I don't know, I look at it and I notice it and it makes me smile. And at the end of the day, it's my model, so I want to make myself smile. I shouldn't complain about trim. I have 6k points at T-Suns painted. You are better than me. I picked up T-Suns for a little bit for an escalation league, and I fully did a ghost army to where they were all dry brushed like a bluish green, like, you know, like you would a ghostly green specter or whatever the hell. I still have the Magnus actually, because the Magnus, I had him as be like half ghost, half him, like he was doing cool warp magic shit. It's a sick model, but the T-Suns, yeah, I was like, I'm finding some kind of gimmick paint scheme so I don't have to paint these guys, because I'm not fucking doing that. Ain't no fucking way I'm doing that. I'm the coach for Team Mythic. Kelsey played, I think, his 3rd game in like a year and went to you. Oh, the Death Guard guy. Yeah. Yeah, I just got to play and teach him how to play 11th edition. That was, yeah. I hope he had fun. It was pretty rough. He ended up, I think, conceding turn 2 or turn 3, maybe. But it was very much like a turn to where I think I picked up Mortarion and a Defiler, and he was like, okay, we can call it here. I was like, yeah. That was also the game to where the Defiler died to basically just 2 Reductus Saboteurs, which was fucking crazy. Because I rolled 6 shots on the demo charge, and like got 5 hits, 5 wounds. He didn't make any saves, and there was just a bunch of damage there. And you know, the grenade, of course, as well. It was crazy. And then there was also like 20 neophytes that were like prepped to shoot that unit, and they're like, well, I guess we're going and shooting this drone now instead. Fuck it. It was very funny. Oh, right, I forgot. She does have cloaks and shit up here. I'm gonna do this by hand actually real quick, and I'm just gonna do it like semi-sloppy, semi-quick, where we're just gonna base coat with a gray, and then probably come in with like a smaller little dry brush later on, just to pull out the other colors. But this is something that I definitely want to hit after I do the metallics dry brush, because hey, guess what? We're also doing that as well. Because I'm not painting all of these metallics. That would be insane. We're doing this quickly. I do eventually want to come back over the AdMech army, and, you know, at least for the characters, like, show them a little bit more love and care. But stuff like Sakarans and all that, they know what they are. They know their position in the army. I think this is, oh, her sleeve as well. Cool. Gotta keep remembering to look up at chat. So, very funnily, I was never able to find like a good elevated spot to have like a top-down paint camera, which was always like my biggest annoyance. in wanting to do like paint streams and all that kind of stuff. But recently, my wife was getting a new standing desk, and she was getting rid of her old one, and so I just decided, fuck it, I'll take it. And it's very funny because essentially what I have, right, it's just like a little the desk itself isn't going up, right, because this is my desk, but it's a little thing that you can set on the desk and levitate it up, basically, like it rises up, and it's about like a 1.5 feet off the desk right now, and I just have the camera hanging over the edge, and I'm having a bunch of objective markers hold it in place. It's very funny, but I mean, it gives me a good top down, and now I can, you know, do paint streams. Let's see if there's enough color in here. Maybe take some of the old gray with this gray. Just kind of remix it to make a similar color. Cool, that's similar enough in shade for me. And then we will just hit the main parts that are going to be out. Boom. Cool. Here. Hit all up in here. I don't really want to hit too many spots back here, at least not with like the white that I'll be coming back with, so we'll just hit it with this. But basically this entire hat is going to be up out in the middle of nowhere in front of God and everyone, so we'll add that highlight. How do I paint 100 neophytes and not contemplate my own mortality? Do I just accept tabletop ready won't be as finished as I want? So my whole thing is that technically my neophytes are, I'm like still painting my neophytes. I got them up to basically tabletop ready by, I airbrushed them metallic, right? I airbrushed them with lead belcher, and then I pulled out the skin, I pulled out the jeans, and then I pulled out the words. Like one other color. Like I think I did the boots, right? So it's like boots, pants, skin, and then everything else was lead belcher, and I hit that shit with an Agrax and then called it good, right? And now I'm going back and like I'll do like 5 neophytes at a time and like try and like bring them up. But yeah, you just kind of gotta like, if you want to do the 100 neophyte list or like 80 or 60, whatever the fuck, do a quick batch paint, just get them ready to where you can take them to tournaments, and then, you know, you go from there, right? Let's go ahead and, how do I want to do this? We'll pull here and get that super light. Cool. Bingo. And now here is where also we can start to kind of revisit some of the other models as well, because they aren't as light. So I'm just gonna retouch up some of the things here, working around the metallics, although I'm not super worried about how careful I am, because I mean, it's gray on gray. It's not going to be that big of a noticeable thing if some of the silver is suddenly covered by a very light gray, because guess what? That's just a non-shiny gray now instead of a shiny gray. Come in here, get the bottom of the cloak at least. It's so funny too that like being seen as like the GSC person, you know, I really do like playing other armies, and I do love playing different things in 40k, but you know, just the archetype of who I am and how I, you know, was able to make my name in the competitive scene, just kind of being thrown in this archetype role. It's very funny the reaction I will get when I do play things like AdMech or my Emperor's Children, and people will even be like, oh, so I guess GSC is not in a good spot right now or something. I'm like, no, I just like playing other things, man. Burgers are my favorite food, but sometimes pizza's nice, you know? I wanna have fun. I wanna hang out. Oh god. Oh god, chat has popped the fuck off. I wanted to mention Jade from above, dry brush, neon green, bam, done. That's perfect. I'll eventually paint on the flashlight and stuff. One of them to look like they were in the shadows of the sewer with just a tiny little lighting trick. Sick. Basically, did some orange. That's also a cool scheme. Need to go psychopath mode and name each neophyte like that Custodes player. I need you to stay away from me. And I'm banning you from the chat. No, I'm not, but Jesus Christ. What point in the horde does the naming fall off? It never falls off. Everyone is named Steve. I was thinking also, and Xenocult also, I think it's a solid list. Like, it's fun. I don't love it, like, at all. It's not my play style. But in playing it, I have recognized that it does have good things going for it. I just don't like that the melee side of my detachment does not have access to 1, advance and charge, or 2, fallback and charge, which seems insane to me, but oh well. My current Xeno list is like on 40 Neos, 40 Akos, 20 metas, and then the rich runners and characters. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. You gotta paint. Listen, a lot of people are always just like on the, you know, oh my god, I have to paint so many neophytes things. You have to paint so many acolytes, dude, because they're also the hybrid metamorphs. They're your tacos. Like, there's so many things in this game. You have 3 different data sheets that come from 1 box. I was talking about this on Titans in the recap episode I did with Forrest after our game on Titan Duels. I think it's the members video. But, like, I think you need to buy the box. Oh, God. I think it's 36 times. Just to be able to have 60 Flacos, 60 Tacos, and 30 metas. And, like, that's insane. That's also not counting, like, the war gear option of do you want demos or just flamers for your Akos, right? Like, it's a lot. It's so much, man. You will actually have to paint so many fucking metamorphs to play this faction. It's insane. Boom, boom, boom. Text Priest is such a good visual. Hope the cult half will get a boost in the 11th Codex. Yeah, Admech's in a weird spot. Them not, you know, doing the thing that kind of everyone was yelling at them to do in the fact of, hey, just add the 30k stuff to 40k. Like, it's a bummer, right? Maybe there's a reason that I would agree with if it got told to me. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I want those big ass robots, but oh well. But yeah, I'd like to see just a little bit more in the Admech range, because also, like, I've noticed there's just some like awkward things that are hanging around that like are just kind of like one-ofs, right? Like how the Cybernetica cohort right now, it's a very strong detachment in my mind, right? But them having to change it to where it's the, oh god, keyboard kind of nudged down a little bit. Them having to change it to where it also, you know, features the vehicles as well, because the only robot unit they had was just the Castellans. And like in all of 10th edition, they didn't add a second like type of Castellan unit. Like, that feels insane to me. No? I don't know. Floof will never touch knights. No, I had knights for a little bit. I think the Destriers are cool. But it's definitely something to where I've said this a couple times. When I lose a unit, if I'm really invested in that unit, I don't like losing it. You know, I don't like when Magnus dies, because I'm like, man, that's a lot of fucking points, right? Like, that's a bummer. And like, that's kind of why I like playing Horde, because it's just like 200 idiots and I don't care about any of them, right? When I throw out a unit, that's just, hey, I'm like already have accepted in my head that that unit is dead, and I'm figuring out how to handle the next turn with a different unit because that one's going to be gone. Does that make sense? So I've played other armies and I can play them very, very well, but you know, play styles. Oh god, I'm still once again popped off and using fluid never Liverpool. Does anyone miss Index GSC with demo charges? I actually I wasn't the biggest fan of Index demo charges. I brought one because it was like an essential thing, But people who are bringing like 3 and 4 squads of the 10-mans, just I wasn't getting it. It wasn't my thing. I didn't like it. I was even then running the Neo spam because I just felt like the amount of bullets was just good. But yeah, I also wasn't like you know, I was nowhere near as good as I am today. Also, yeah, I just like the flamers. 96 flamers or 10 if you want to be a psychopath and not take the icon ward, or the cult icon. It's just like, it's so many shots, dude, with like twin linked and access to +1 AP. Oh my god, that unit is not okay. And I say not okay, and it's gonna do like, 7 damage to a defiler, but god damn it, it's 7 damage that I couldn't do beforehand. That's amazing. Doing my armies, flamers, sisters, and T-sons. Yeah, that's Jesus Christ. Yeah, the 30k models were just so good. I don't know, man. I both get it, but also I dislike it. Because it's just like, we're right here, man. And like Custodes, yes, technically Custodes, it was like different models for a different game. That's not the official 40k one, but they're saying that you can use them. So they're letting that faction use the 30k models, and it's just like, hey, can you just throw some data sheets at us for 40k for AdMech? I don't know. One of the demons, I guess. Sure. For full Acolyte hybrid gear selections, 252 models. That's insane. Don't feed AdMech new models until we have new non-character units for GS. I mean, we can do both, right? Let both factions have new non-character units. Jesus Christ. Oh, like I would say that I think AdMech is at the point to where it doesn't need new fuck-ass characters. Okay, we have a good amount of tech priests. We have basically 2 Primarchs, right? We have Thulia and Call, which both are amazing, and being able to run them together. I get that it's like, that's like a Gilliman and Calgar situation, but like, not really. Thulia and Call are both like, damn, they're good. And as much as they hate each other in the lore, I think, I don't know, I'm not a big lore head. Boy howdy, do they like to just walk next to each other in the game. They are a fucking problem in Lords of the Forge. With that 5-up Feel No Pain, it's actually disgusting how like survivable that unit is, especially for the points. It's such a good like bully unit to throw out turn 3 or 4. Oh my god. I main Necrons. Okay, that's the most I'm gonna read of that comment because I hate Necrons. I'm kidding. Just picked up GC with the addition about halfway through my 7k collection, including about 1.5k of NID, so on the grind, been loving it. Jesus Christ. When you pick up an army, do you just pick up like well, obviously with 7k of it, you pick up a good fucking portion of it. You're damn near have as much as I do, which is also a funny thing. So many coaching clients I'll have to where like I'll tell them like, yeah, I'm like painting and assembling aberrants or something. They're like, what? But you're the GSC person. I'm like, yeah, I don't go out and buy models I'm not going to use, and I was never going to use the aberrants in 10th edition, so I have 10, and I got to go build more. I started AdMech in 7th. I miss my knights. So I remember them having stuff like they could obviously ally in like a knight or something like that. When I even bought I bought my friend's collection of AdMech. Oh boy, painting this skull is gonna be a problem. When I bought the collection off of him, he also threw in a knight, which was very cool. Like a fully magnetized, like I think Cerastus. I don't fully remember. But like it's just been sitting on my shelf looking pretty. I don't run it. Because I mean, there's no reason to, right? Like there's no benefits. There's no like final day detachment for AdMech. There's like an AdMech detachment for IK, but I'm not gonna run IK with a little bit of AdMech, right? What I'd like is, to run AdMech with, if they want to give people the ability to do so, running AdMech with a knight. And yes, it's an ally right now. You could do that, but there's nothing, right? What'd be cool actually is if the Cybernetica cohort buffs could go onto that knight. I think that would be sick. That would be awesome. Robots are the best part of AdMech, in my opinion. Printed 1,000 points as a fun meme list to run in teaching games. The fact that that's your teaching game list fucking scares me as to like who you are as a teacher. What the fuck? That being said, yeah, that the unit is very fun. I love the Castellans so much. I only have 4. I might have 6. I think I have 6 or 8 actually. I do want to try out actually a 12 Castellan list. I think it'd be fun. And I think also in early 11th, someone has already gone like 5-1 with 12 Castellans as well. I think it was like in the first like 2-ish weeks. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, hey, a result is a result, right? He came, won 5 games, dropped 1, went home. So that's more than I've done with AdMech in 11th edition. So I'm, yeah. I don't know. I think the robots can be good. They're definitely expensive. I'd love like just 1 more points drop. And not like a 5-point points drop. Like give me like 10 or 20 points off of them, please. I think that'd be good. And then, you know, we can really start to cook. Because there are some armies to where like that data sheet just fucking bullies them, right? But then you run into like Thousand Suns and they go, hello, I have cast a spell that says +2 AP. And then you know, you look at your guy who doesn't have an invuln and you go, ah, my apologies. I'll proceed to end myself. You know? I feel like more people would play 30k if they allowed more model integration for 40k. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes and no. I don't think there's ever going to be a game, especially from GW, that ever truly rivals 40k, right? I think the one that could do it is Sigmar, but Sigmar needs to get its head out of its ass and drop double turn. I get there's other things going on in that game, but the model line is fucking amazing, and I've gotten into the game 3 times now, played like 2 or 3 games, had fun, and then got double turned and hated that experience so fucking much that I sold the army. Like, it just feels like ass, dude. I get there's other reasons why other people won't, like, play it, but, like, that's my reason. I hate double turn. He's telling robots catfish me into collecting the Grasshopper Man army. Yeah, yeah. They're cool, dude. I like them. When I first, like, started the army, like, my favorite stuff was, like, the Crab, right? The Dune Crawler, or Dune Strider? I forget which one. But the Crab, and then the Skitarii, and, like, the Rust Stalkers. Like the real techie guys I liked. I'm not so much of a fan of the Corpuscari, and I wasn't the biggest fan of, like, the... Oh god, what's the one that has the Pharamite? The Scorpius Disintegrator, right? And even the boat, I'm not the biggest fan of. But, like, I respect it, alright? I get it. When I look at it, I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. But, it was mostly, like, the Skitarii stuff, right? And also, I just, like, had memories of... it was, like, either 8th or 9th edition to where you could run 20-man Rangers and Vanguard. And they just killed everything, right? And it reminded me of Neophytes. But as I had the army, Castellans have grown on me 100%. They're so cool. Yeah, little no self-control when it comes to picking up an army. Have a bit of completionist mindset, so on everything. Makes sense. As an IK main, I'd love that. We could use more options than the AdMech Allied Detachment allows. Yeah, and like I don't know. I don't like the Knight factions in 40k because I think they are just too fundamental of a unhealthy stat check. So I think if we could start to run them in line more to where you have like 1 to 2 bigs, like 4-ish smalls, and then the rest of your army is not only has to be like the small support stuff. So for like CK, it's like the cults, and then for IK, it'd be like AdMech, but you are incentivized and rewarded for doing so. Because I think the world we're in right now, to where someone can just be like, yeah, the meta for IK is just 5 bigs on main, and just hope I go into something that can't kill it, right? Like, that can't be fun, right? IK players, is that fun for you? I would have to imagine not, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm the silly one here, but it feels like I would want to do other things. Also, by the way, using makeup brushes for dry brushing is, oh, it's such a good thing. I got like from some, I don't know if it was a Michaels. I think it was a Ross or something like that. And their makeup section, which is normally just like a pile of shit, right? Just kind of like thrown in there. There was like a makeup brush thing for like $5, I think. And I got like 5 of these and it's so good. Rock Grinder is much cooler than the truck. Yes, I do agree. Would you ever take a Rock Grinder over the truck in Xeno? I have just started basing my starting GSC army roughly around JT's list because I really like the theme. I don't think so in that list specifically, because that list is already still, so much of it needs to focus on the metas and the Acolytes and the Flacos and the Neos, and you need them at 10-man size capacity. So there's nothing that you're putting in the Rock Grinder in terms of a transport capacity. So it's just, you just have it there to be 120 points. That like is like decent, but for 20 more points, you can have 10 metas that just, while their strength is lower, they have 3 times the amount of attacks and access to lethal hits. I'm not the biggest fan of it in there. Now, in other detachments, I think you just look at it and go, it's 120 points, I'm running this. Like, it's just good. As a Sigmar Sip, we have gaslit ourselves that double turn is real player skill. No, it's not. Instead of just recognizing that it's what everyone who bounces off the game talks about. Night kill team to give them some kind of faction squire units or something. Yeah, I like... So, like, they had the Arbites thing for a little bit. That were, like, 35 points, right? And they were annoying as fuck to kill. I think if you're just something towards, like, yeah, dog, like, 500 to 1,000 points of your army has to be the supporting shit, right? Like, that would be so cool, in my opinion. Now, I get there's going to be people, because there's, you know, no one can agree on anything. There's going to be someone who's like, no, I love running 6 bigs. Sure, that's fine. But I think in terms of that, if you are running something that is so anti-meta, so skewed, like, it can never be optimal, in my personal opinion. It can only work because it's that skew. Oh man, there's like paint in the thing. This brush is gonna get fucked in like a day or so once this dries out. That's rough. I really like this brush too. I'm gonna try and save it and just have it run along with this while I talk. Am I ever gonna use the saw? No, I'm not. I have some sprues around here that I'm never gonna use. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Okay. I've got it. I've got the extra wings from a winged prince. I'm just gonna fucking do this for a little bit. Okay. This also lets me get caught up on... God, it's so hot in this room. Good heavens. 1,000 Knights play a different game. The Sigmar thing. 5 bigs plays Gate Warden and stand on business. Like, yes, and like, that's a fun list, but man, there's just some armies that look at that and go, I can't interact with this. I'm just gonna stand there and get shot, and it like bullies new players. It's just not my favorite. And I get that that's going to be someone's thing, right? Because also there's going to be times to where, you know, I will play 120 neophytes and I'm having a lot of fun, but someone brought a bunch of las cannons and plasma shots and they're like, how the fuck do I kill this list, right? Like, I am also guilty of this because it goes both ways. It's just at the end of the day, their plasma shots and las cannons are still going to kill cultists, right? They're still going to kill neophytes, but autoguns and all that kind of stuff bounce off of Catan and it bounces off of Big Knights. And so you have more opportunities of this feel bad experience to where your opponent's just like, well, I shot, but I didn't fucking do anything, right? Versus into the Swarm player, they're like, no, well, I still killed stuff. They regenerated shit, but sure, I killed like a bunch of models, right? But I think like if you are going to go into the full skew, it needs to be taxed in some way to where it's not optimal, if that makes sense. but that's just me. Some Knight players adore that I hate it. I agree. I want CK to become a part of Demons and IK to become a part of AdMac, LMAO. I would be fine if they're their own factions, right? Like, people have obviously talked about, like, Imperial Agents just needs to be absorbed with Custodes and Knights, which I don't fully agree with. I think Custodes can be their own faction. I think they need to become a lot more elite. I saw some leaks to where they're, like, going up to, like, fucking 5 wounds and, like, toughness 7 or 8. And, like, they're going to be, like, 60 points a model or some shit like that. And low-key, I'm fine with that. If you're basically just, like, Golden Knights, that's a little bit better in my opinion, because then it also, like, feels more impactful when you actually do kill a Custodian, right? They're not just fancy Terminators. Because that's all they are right now, right? It's just a fancy Terminator. It's just a T6 Terminator. And, like, some like, Space Wolves Terminator, like, I'm sorry. I'm going to get too lost in the sauce here talking about this. But right now, Custodians don't feel as, like, the demigods they do. So I do hope that, like, the rumors I saw, which are unconfirmed, I have no extra information more than people do. It was just the stuff that came out at the start of the edition. But if they get much beefier and their points go up, I think that'd be a great spot for them. And then yeah, CK, like, God, because you don't really have, like, an Imperial Agents for Chaos outside of Demons, but, like, them being with Demons doesn't feel right, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think a Chaos Knight is more thematic if it's a Chaos Knight that's standing next to a Great Unclean One, you know? I don't know. I think Knights need to be in their own pool. Yeah, like, if they had their own game, that'd be great, but here's the thing, right? I fully agree with the statement that when GW made Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights and they implemented them into the game, it was a fundamental mistake. It was just something that overall was just unhealthy for the game. But the thing is that we're here now. And the game has progressed so much, and there's so many eyes on the game, right? So many people are playing it now. I don't think there's a world to where we can ever see a faction squatted again. I say that while looking at Imperial Agents. I know, that itself is a fucking travesty. But, like, I don't think they can ever actually take out Imperial Knights or Chaos Knights from the game. So, now we're here of, like, well, we need to do something, right? We need to figure out some way to make it kind of feel fair, right? And, you know, that's essentially where we're at, right? How do you balance this fuck-ass faction and make it feel good for people to play into? You know? I just want a little touch of white. Just a little bit, just enough to make a Southern Outlaw blush a little bit, right? Or I think that would be the other way around. Anyways, I think that's fine. And I have a smaller makeup brush. Are you gonna be fine? Probably. Are you better? I have no way of knowing if the tip makes any kind of difference. Seems they have a hard time balancing Custodes and Grey Knight with what they are supposed to be in lore. Yeah, I'm also not happy with where Grey Knights are. I'm enjoying building and painting my Necromunda Vice themed GSC, going with the fun vibes. Brood Brother list for 2K, lots of fun units. That's really nice. As someone who also has, you know, the Necromunda GSC army, I think it's one of the coolest themes that you can do. Oh, did my fucking Breakcore mix end? I'm just gonna restart this. I don't know any other copyright free playlists, and I don't want the stream to get nuked. I don't know if it's gonna get nuked, right? But I'd like it if it wasn't. That looks close enough for me. 5 me, and we're just gonna throw this at, like, the tops. Really just have it, like, catch on the corners and not stay too long to where it gets on, like, the general fabrics, if that makes sense. But we just want it to pop a little bit. Boom, bam, you done know. And then right here, once again, just pull out those lines. And then as soon as they're in, we vanish. We get out of there. We treat that shit like the Avatar. We're gone. Boom. Pick this up. Get the hood. I shouldn't call this a hood. I don't like painting white hoods. Please understand that that's not me. That's not my style. That's not who I am. Oh God, I put chat away. Chat, are you good? Where are you? Oh God. Okay, there we go. They can't just be as cheap as they are and need to add more breath in a small night range. Yeah. So it's hard, right? Because like, here's the thing. If you make it to where, you know, they're more impactful and their points go up, well, then they become more, what's the word? Not extremified. Polarizing, right? Because either you're an army that has like 12 million railguns and you can kill the Knight army and the Knight player doesn't get to play the game, or you don't, and then the Knight player just kills you even better, right? And can be even more disrespectful to you. And so it's almost like you need to make them more like make them like a defensive thing to where maybe we take their output down, but they're like really fucking durable to kill, right? I don't know, something. But I think the thing is you just have to make them balanced in the way of like in terms of actual list building, to where think of it as if their role, right? The Big Knight's role wasn't necessarily, you know, the big game winning piece that I have 5 of, and they're just cheap enough to where you can't kill all of them. But what they are instead is like the factions like Repulsor Executioner, right? To where they're going to bring 1 to 2 of these, and even if they lose that one, they can still play the game, right? Stuff like that can work, in my opinion. And like that's where it should go. Is that necessarily where it's gonna go? I don't know. We'll definitely see, right? I think the Destrier is a good step, weirdly enough. Just giving them a medium is nice. Gives them a filler so they don't... I don't know. I just like the Destrier. I think I'm down with them trying out adding in different classes in terms of the size category. Not like, you know, oh, here's the Mage Knight and the Rogue Imperial Knight. But like actual size classes. I guess classifications is the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. But we'll have to see. Like a good list should probably be like 1 big, 3 dog size stuff and some infantry. I would even be fine with like 5 dogs, to be honest, right? Like, listen, if you can give... Here's the thing though, right? Is that knights are such a stat check thing that essentially to make a knight's list, you have to figure out what's good now. Are dogs cheap enough to where I just take 14 dogs? Or are bigs cheap enough to where I just take 5 bigs, right? And rarely is there ever the time to where you go, oh, well, I'm going to take like a collection of both, right? I'm going to take 2 bigs and I'm going to take a medium in the Destrier. Maybe I take 2 mediums and then I'll take some armigers, right? That doesn't happen. You either see CK running 15 fucking dogs or you see IK on 5, 6 bigs, right? And so it's like, how do you enforce that, right? To where, because that is the ideal, right? It's 1 big, maybe one to 2 bigs, maybe it's 1 big and then like 1 to 2 mediums and then a couple smalls and then infantry trash around them, right? But how do you enforce that? How do you make that the optimal competitive decision, right? Buffs need to happen in layers to where you don't go, oh, I'll just ignore the middle guy, and we'll just have all the chaff just be buffing my big thing, right? It's such a complicated process, and unless you have like hard restrictions to where you say to make an Imperial Knights army from the Codex, you are restricted to 1 big, this many Destrier class models, and then, you know, this many armigers, and then the rest is all trash, right? And that's like, well, fuck. I don't want to tell people how to list build. But also, I want them to stop list building the shit they're list building. I'm going to do a touch of white. Just a little bit. Honestly, even dims down just because of the gray that I have on the brush. Let's... Yeah, I need to... Hold on, give me a second. Because the paint's starting to go a little bit deep into the brush, and I need to do the thing. Where did I put the sprue? Ah, here's where I put the sprue. Doesn't build that knights can now build to not do actions. I mean, beforehand, they with the fucking Titanic, the bigs can just do the action, right? Like, it doesn't matter to them. They're totally fine with that. I think knights on priority assets is a good spot for them. As crazy as that sounds, because, okay, I have to do an action on the middle. So my big knight that's going to go touch the middle so we can see every sightline possible while he's shooting you to death is just going to go do the action, question mark, smile. And so it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing here, right? I think if you took away their ability to do actions and, you know, play the game to where they're shooting and doing that, but that could help. Because now it's, okay, well, now I have to take the small stuff, right? Now I have to take the Skitarii, Rangers, and all that bullshit just so I have little action monkeys. That could totally be how we do it, but who knows? Is there supposed to be music? Oh, is it that dim to where you don't hear it? Oh, maybe I need... well, listen. It's fucking... It's breakcore, okay? It's this shit. I just have it down a little bit. Maybe I'll... There we go. I know it's not everyone's thing, and I'm just going to be talking a lot, and so I don't want to chase people off. I hope it's going well. I look, bye. How does GSC build disruption now? OC plus heroes? I think the only disruption build you have is PXH. You could try a heroes build in like maybe final day, because it's just inherently strong enough. Funnily enough, I would like to see a list in Biosanctic, because I think the Super Sanctus, just helping like your different melee units, like pick out key characters before, you know, the Aberrants and Abominants go in. Like if your opponent has like a big melee brick of Terminators, and the character joined to them gives them fight on death, just kind of holding off for a turn and letting the Super Sanctus go in, or just a regular Sanctus go in, pop dev wounds and precision, and go kill their fight on death character. That way, when your Aberrants get in, they don't have to deal with that. That's super sick. I like it a lot. Now we'd have to see. I believe, funnily enough, the one list that ended up cheating, in list building was a Biosanctic and Heroes detachment. So it was that. So we just need someone to do that, but not cheat, and that'll be great. I will say, at first when I saw that list, I was like, I think this guy's just an idiot, and he like just didn't realize what was going on. But then people were pointing out the solo locus, and I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna, you know, be optimistic and hope the best for the guy, and hope that he's not like doing that egregious shit, because like that's so easy to check, right? And just hope that it was a mistake. But Jesus Christ, dude. Anyways, so I would say PXH. Sorry, to go back to the original question of disruption for GSC. I think PXH, right? Because that's, I mean, we're seeing that with Scotland right now at the WTC. That's what I designed their list to do, and it's doing very well. It does have 2 zeros, unfortunately, this weekend, but that's going into orcs that, after talking to Scott, just had a lot of things go very well for them, which is unfortunate to hear. You know, I want the list that I designed to do well, especially into some of the things that I had teched it for a little bit, but it is what it is. Are you in the GSC Discord? I'll post my list for you to look at. It is OC and leaders, but it's mostly tie up your opponents so they never move and run around. Like, yeah. So here's the thing. Another thing as well is that I don't know Outlander Claw all that well. It's not my shit, like, at all. So if there are OC people, Outlander Claw people, and they're telling you like, yeah, no, this is a thing, I would believe it. It's just, I'm not familiar with OC builds all that much. It just was it's basically the detachment I have played the least. But if you wanted to run disruption in it, you could. My only thing is that right now the meta is very, how do I put this? It's a bruiser meta, it feels like, to where there's just a lot of durable elite units running around, and there's a lot of very killy things that need to die very quickly. And Outlander Claw doesn't have the damage to stop someone that just goes, I don't know what your army does, I'm just going to advance everything at you, right? And into like real stuff, it becomes, hey, you have to be this tall to ride, and Outlander Claw is here. Or Outlander Claw's like here. The rest of GSC is like here. It's kind of rough for GSC right now. As much as I love this faction, there is just some stuff I don't think I have play into. There are just some fundamentally broken armies in the game. And that's, you know, I don't love to admit that as like the GSC specialist, that, you know, if I were to do a tier list, I'm probably putting GSC in like C or D tier. But I mean, it is what it is, man. I can't. When I go to Tacoma, right, and my day 3 is going into 2 other Team USA members, right, people who I consider to be at my level or above me, and we start to play the game, and it's very quickly realized that I'm playing like fair GSC, right? I have a good list, it's strong, but they're playing shit that is fundamentally abusive in some way or another, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm disadvantaged here because we're the same skill level, and your list is just better than mine. Your army is just better now. So it's, yeah, I think that GSC still needs something, and I don't think it's points. I think it's just like, I just want a new codex at this point, man. We have I have an episode coming out with Abby Steeler soon, to where we do a tier list of all of the different units, and like, I have so many complaints about like the Patriarch being what it is, tacos being what they are, neophytes. There's so many units that just aren't allowed to be good because we just had a writer that didn't believe in the faction, if that makes sense. Like, I can see in the data sheets and how they wrote the faction, someone's just going like, well, yeah, but it's just like a dude, right? They're just a couple guys. Like, how are they going to kill like my cool space marine, right? And it's just like, dog, you need to believe in the hype that like the people that play your faction believe in, right? Does that make sense? I don't even think we need new, like, I would love new units. I don't agree that we need that fuck ass idea that everyone always comes up with of like, what if it's Aberrants but holding a gun? Why are we giving an Aberrant a gun? He's a pile of muscle that has 2 brain cells. Why the fuck are we telling him to aim? Oh, but then he can hold like a bunch of heavy weapons. Dog, we got guys with 3 and 4 arms. Like, what? We can go like do the exosuit thing that like Votann do. Like, we have options. Why are we, what? I don't know. I don't think that our Aberrants need to be GSE Bulgrin and Ogryn, if that makes sense. I think there's other area to explore the faction identity in. God, that paint at the base is really just irking me. Maybe if I just really get in. I know that's a hot take, by the way. He's my favorite way to run them. Yeah, listen. In terms of the list I gave of saying like PXH is going to be your best way to play Disruption, I still think your best disposition to play is priority assets. I would, outside of it, for singles, I would rather play anything else than Disruption. Like, it is just not, it's not good right now. You are fundamentally shooting yourself in the foot to play this disposition. And I get that, like, you can still do well with it. Yeah. But that's because you're just outplaying your opponent, right? It's not because the disposition enabled you. You are winning in despite of it, not because of it. And that's not what you want to be in the competitive scene, right? GC is just a race to 100 at this point. You can try and piecemeal high priority targets and just hold on for dear life. Yeah, like that's it. I don't ever get to do damage, like real damage. I'm just gonna do my best to walk up to like 80 plus points, and then you figure out your shit and tell me if I won or lost. Like, I don't have command over the game that much, and it sucks because that's not why I got into this faction. I got into this faction so I could have, you know, that back and forth, so I could take control of the game. So it felt like I was doing like smart things, and I was like outplaying my opponent, and I had a plan generations in the making, right? It doesn't feel thematic. It feels like I'm just a bunch of fucking nobodies that just die for free. I really do feel like the villain of the not even the villain of the week, just the fucking goon of the week. To where, yeah, I just show up and die and make sure the other guy feels, you know, strong and powerful. And yes, I know I said goon. Everyone, let's be fucking adults. You know what I mean. And it's just, I don't know, man. I don't like it. Oh god. Decor is part of the Floof aesthetic. To be honest, I'm here for it. Hell yeah. I'm glad people like it. That Floof is Gabe from Ascension Day. Nice to see you streaming, homie. Doing a little Claw Heroes test game tomorrow. Fuck yeah, dude. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear that. On Ascension Day. Why am I... Oh, the podcast, right? I'm so terrible at remembering. He's gonna be like, no, dog, we've met 5 times. All allies not popular in Imperial Knights armies. Can't they ally into Imperial agents? Days live on. Shut up. I love you, but shut up. Iron Sisters and Immolator and others. So we run them, yeah. Claw, I thought objective control. I'm a numpty. Orcs is the hands of a top player is insanity right now. It's insane. I'm having a lot of fun with Brood Brothers using Hellhounds, Hippogriffs, Casterkin, and Catachans, heavy weapons teams. So here's my thing, is that would just be better if you played Guard. Like, that's my annoyance with Brood Brothers, is it would just be better as a Guard army. But people don't want to hear me say that. Agree with the ranged abbeys. Give me Triumph of St. Catherine. That would be fucking sick. What? So we were even talking about in the video of like, what would be really sick is, if the Patriarch, and I know this isn't lore accurate right now, but if, and hear me out here, if the Patriarch just becomes like an elite class monster, right? And we got like a Hive Tyrant like Matriarch or something like that. And now you can start to take multiples of Patriarchs, but there's only ever one Matriarch. And the Matriarch is like our Hive Tyrant, right? To where it's just this big fucking model. And then that's the like the buff unit, right? That's the one that like really controls the Hive. Something like that would be sick. I know people are like, no more character units, please. But I just need like something, man. You can even take like the Coalescence from Necromunda in the fact that it's like you can start to make more things be half Tyranid, right? The Coalescence, for those that don't know, is basically half of a Zoanthrope mixed with a Psyker. And if we had like a squad that's just these like mutated Psyker dudes, that would be fucking sick, I think. I don't know. Let me know what you think, I guess. Let me know down in the comments below, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the live stream so that other people can find it, or whatever the fuck. I don't fucking know. Oh god. Having an active chat is fucking stressful. Oh my god. Why can't I go back to the days to where I streamed on Twitch and was just a nobody who had like 0 personality and wondered why people didn't watch the stream? What a chill stream. It's such a shame your brother doesn't watch it. True. What's funny about the word goon? It feels like that extends to wanting to play control in 11th in general. Yeah, like the big brain thing is figuring out you need to go murder your opponent or the max score like you. Yeah. The podcast you cool. You should explain it in detail, goon. Feel a lot of what you're saying playing OC Pure Stream Brutestorm at a GT a few weeks ago, and it was cool and fun, but technically it felt like 9th edition Obsec Necron starring Arcs of Omen. Yeah, so the Necron thing. So for those that didn't play, the end of 9th edition, Necrons basically were kind of what they are now, but with none of the bite that they have. It was an army to where like, I mean, not even, because you could kill it, right? The whole thing was that like, essentially, Necrons abusing the faction secondaries and just the way they played the game, they would score like 100 points by like turn 4, right? and you had to fucking table them to stop them from doing it and have a chance to beat them. And at the time, it was cool. It was needed in the game because you had stuff like Tyranids, which I know this is going to sound weird, but Tyranids were the most offensive army in the game. They just fucking tabled you, right? And so it was the complete antithesis. Necrons did 0 damage, absolutely nothing, right? But they scored points like a motherfucker. And then you had Tyranids who just tabled you on like turn 2 or turn 3, but struggled to score points, right? And so Necrons and Tyranids kind of kept each other balanced a little bit, to where it had the sub game of like, okay, can the Tyranids player like kill the Necrons player fast enough before they score their points to be able to win the game, right? And then, you know, it was something. So like, I think that archetype is cool and, you know, should be a thing, but the way it feels right now, it doesn't feel good, I think, is just what it comes down to, right? Is I have wanted that to exist back in the game again, to where an army just, you know, doesn't do anything, but it scores like a motherfucker, but it still feels like GSC like wants to do damage still, right? Like, I still feel like it's like the +1 strength and toughness and armor on pure strains doesn't scream, hey, go be the army that dies for its points. It screams, hey, go run at the fucking guy, right? You get full hit rerolls from the neophytes. It feels like you still want to do damage. It's just pussyfooting around. I don't know. You've upset the floof. How dare you? I just want some things to change, man. I want my army to be able to play the game. I want to be able to look at 10 Terminators across the board and not be like, well, I think I just lose the game because that exists, right? If my opponent just walks them onto the middle, I want to be able to kill that unit with something besides 1,500 points of my army. And I get that, like, defensive units need to exist in the game and eat that kind of stuff, but dude, they're like 400 points. What the fuck are we doing, right? Like, what? In the nicest way, and I've told Forrest this, and I am in no way have, like, mean this as an insult to Forrest, but the list he brought on Titans, right? That's like the 39 Terminators list, is a fucking abomination, and in my opinion, should not exist in the game. Like, it just shouldn't, right? That list should get punished. It shouldn't be able to score and win the game so easily. But it's just enabled by a disposition that says, hey, stand on the points. And then all the secondary cards say, hey, dude, you drew this action, but you can do it when you table your opponent, right? And, like, I look at my opponent when they're drawing Plunder and they're drawing Cleanse, and I go, instead of going, oh, that's a dead card, cool, his score is going to be impacted, I just go, well, I'm not going to be around to stop that on turn 5, right? Like, there's no way to stop their scoring. There's no way to do the thing. And I'm sorry if the playtesters played against, like, Ennis and John Lennon and fucking Liam BSL one too many times, and they got butthurt because these guys stopped their primary score, but you should be able to interact with your opponent. And it's just like, ugh. Sorry, I'm ranting now. I apologize, chat. Ugh. Okay, we're, for the most part, I kind of want to make him a little bit brighter. I'm going to add in, I'm going to do just a little bit more white. And we'll bring in a little bit more over here, because what we're going to do, I'm going to grab this brush that's all busted up, bring it over here, grab all this gray. Here's my gray. Mix it together. Hold on. This brush is, oh, I haven't even looked at chat. I've been ranting so much. I feel like we got damage, but we're outdated. Yes, our damage is very much outdated. Why the fuck are seismic cannons D3? 9th edition was stacking auras and buffs was so fucking peak. Hopefully the way orcs are moving is a good indication we might move back to that a bit. I'd love that. But also, I think orcs are, like, completely over-designed right now. And Cult of Spiraldana is a sick GSC book. Sorry, you don't need to spam less, Chrono. It's a fucking chat. You can talk. Thank you, I'll pull that up. I just got my Audible credit for the month. Cool. Faction specific secondary Necrons is the worst of all worlds. Both players are miserable. Here's my hot take as well, and we're going to circle around to this when we've got time, because I know I'm doing the ADHD thing to where I have like 50,000 conversations going at one time. Faction secondaries were good for the game. Implying Floofus started upset. Shush, that's rude. You're mean. You're bullying me. Sell out, play Oryx. You know you want to join them. I do want to, but I'm specifically not collecting them right now, because they are too good. I'm gonna give them some time. Like the new models, the new range looks fucking beautiful. Like the new boys kit looks awesome. The new knobs that they're getting are sick. But like I think they're also getting like new bikers as well, and the character looks awesome. I think I should just bring this over here. We're just gonna infect this white. Whee! Like all of that looks super dope. But then you look at it and go, why do boys have a +1 to hit in shooting ability? And why do all of their guns have lethal hits? Why are boys Death Guard right now? Because if you noticed, all of their guns outside of, I think, the rocket has lethal hits against non-monster vehicle. What the fuck are we talking about? I love Metamorphs right now. Unironically, +1 attack and Xenos is sick as fuck, even if I drop 5 dudes from Hazardous. Yeah, I think a bio icon unit for metas is genuinely fucking insane right now. It's a lot of points, right? You're looking at 240 for the whole kit, 50 for the icon, 50 for the bio, 140 for the metas. But like, I think it's tasty. There we go. This is a good enough off-white for me to... This is going to look nice. Trust me, chat. The saving cards thing should go. I think if it was like... Ennis has described a very good one that I agree with, which is at the end of turn, you have to discard down to 2, right? Now, in your turn, you draw 2, and if you have to, you can draw up to 4. In that turn, you can do 4 cards, right? You can score that way. But if you can't then still continue to stockpile it, you have to go down to 2. I think that's kind of fine. You still kind of have a problem there, but it's fucking something. Forest Hurt, poor Floof with 39 Terminators. I had a lot of fun in that game against Forest, but like that list is an abomination. And I will stand on that, goddammit. Isn't 39 just every casual Dark Angels list ever? It's what they wish they were. Also, I'd run no secondaries, simplify the game as much as you can and watch videos. Oh, in terms of getting into stuff. Wait, who's getting into this? Club Me? Club Me, where are you? Any tips to start gaming for someone who only really paints and hasn't really played any games yet? Escalation leagues are great, but just, I mean, if you got homies that are in the game, just go play with the homies, right? You don't gotta worry about like being like crazy good at the game or understanding everything. It's the same thing I tell a lot of my coaching clients, is the only way to get better at the game is you have to play the game, right? And so there ain't really anything else. Like, it's like looking at, you know, if I boot up, what's a game that's got something like, if I boot up Overwatch for the first time, right? I can, you know, have fun getting into the community and understanding all the lore and all that kind of stuff, and woo, great, I'm enjoying, I'm a part of this community, I'm a lore head, cool. And I'm going like, well, how do I play the game? Dog, you got 2 options. You either head into a bot match and get some training in, or you go ahead and just click fucking single player, right? You just hop into a game. And that bot match, in the nicest way, is going to be you playing against your friend, because you both got to figure it out. And then playing in a single player is just going to an LGS, right? There's totally people I have seen to where they'll go to an RTT and they have like a soft understanding of the game. And then like their first real games are playing at that RTT, right? And so long as your local community is like fine, people are going to be chill about it. 6 men versus 10 Terminators, LOL. They should probably go. Cheers, Gonos. I do wish Primary was more interactive. I feel like a lot of games for me anymore is decided by secondary draws. You want to know what's also not fucking interactive? Why does my home point not matter? What the fuck is that all about? Like, I don't... What is it? What's going on here? What's going on? What's happening? I just... It annoys me to no end. Every time, to where, like, I'll just see a match and both players are off of their home because it just didn't... Who gives a shit, right? I don't know. I'm starting to think back to that comment of, you're acting like it's difficult to get Floof mad. And I'm feeling called out and hurt, and honestly, fuck you. If you're on Discord, too, shoot me a message and I'd love to help. Yeah, Chrono's a great person in the community and can definitely help as well. But end of the day, as much advice as we can give you, you still are going to have to do the thing to where you just reach out and go into whatever Looking for Game channel or Warhammer 40k channel your local Discord has, or whatever thing they use, and go, hey, I'm new to the game. Does anyone want to do a pickup game, right? Also, actually, another thing, there are some stores to where, like, if you go in, I know the store owner for our local store will definitely show people how to play the game. And if you're fine, like, taking the afternoon, right? Because obviously he's probably at points going to have to help the customers and all that kind of shit. Playing like that, that could be a great resource. I'm so sad my YouTube name got taken. I usually use Chronotail everywhere, like on Discord, but YouTube was like, there's someone else named Chronotail, so whoever stole my name, give it back. Well, I'll probably tell you, or I'll tell you that it's probably, and hear me out here, someone named Chronotail. Thoughts? Green to best, same as Death Guard. First off, saying Death Guard is the best is insane. But I'm also biased because, like, every fucking Death Guard player out on the west coast of Cali is, like, a piece of shit. Outside of one, our very nice friend Elijah is great, but my god, like, almost every other Death Guard player, it fucking sucks. Not all of them, but oh boy, are most of the little shitters in our community Death Guard players. I trust you got this one. Yeah, having a stockpile turn 5 where you score 30 points seems like it shouldn't be able to happen. I think it's fine. It's okay to have that, right? To where you want to, like, save Beacon for the last turn, but it still should be something to where, like, you can't just go 0-0, 30-30, 30 in a game and win, right? It can't be as consistent as it is. Wait, hold on. Hey, Nexos, you're my hero. You taught me how to play GSC. Would you be willing to stray away from negatives, please? What does that mean? I'm not doing math. Is this like a 15 times negative 10 is a negative 150, but you don't want me around the negatives? What do you mean? What do you mean? What's going on? It's probably something to where I should swear less, because I know I should swear less. I apologize. I'm apparently the love child of a construction worker and a sailor and a military person. As someone who's relatively new, the only way to get good is to play. You will get your stuff kicked in. See, we're avoiding negatives for a while, but it's all fun. Yippee, I've been a great community member. I did it. Being chronically online has paid off. Dude, tell me about being fucking chronically online, right? My God. I feel like I have no life. There'll be times to where, like, I'll notice that I have bounced between, like, 15 different Discords with ongoing conversations, and most of them about GSC and, like, people asking me about stuff and all that, but oh boy. Keeping the negatives thing. I spent my first year getting my butt handed to me, negatives, by WTC players on TTS. I probably went on a 20 loss streak before barely clutching a win. Try and surround yourself by dudes who podium consistently. Yeah, I think that's also, well, so, okay, hear me out. That is specifically like a getting better at the game thing. If you are still learning, oh, good heavens. If you are still, there we go, got him. If you are still learning the game, and like a good top player can still show you the game, right? When I'm in my escalation league, I'm often playing against people who are playing, you know, They're still figuring out like, okay, what's my toughness? How do I go find that? What's my data sheet rule, right? Like I just played against someone like that yesterday. How are you getting those silver so smooth? Dog, it's just dry brush. This is all of this has just been dry brushed on stream. It's here is these two colors. Pro-Acryl dark silver first, and then silver. And then I use a makeup brush that I got in a set of like 6 of them for $5. Oh, right, we are doing texture paint. Whee! Everyone say yay, we're doing textures. Whee! My god, what was that? Jesus fuck. Jesus Heck. Sorry. I'm working on it. Gonna move the small palette out of the way. We're done with small palette gaming right now. So, I got this big palette a while ago because I lost my small one and I just needed something to paint on. So I got this, but I haven't gotten any refills for it. Oh, and it just turned off my light. That's fun. But now I just use it for one. Very funnily enough, this little speed paint thing is great for getting paint out of some of the brushes. But also, this has just become. Oh, you can't see this. It's just, yeah, I've been using this side to do texture paint stuff. Christ is watching. Christ is watching. Amen. Started 9th edition. I got tabled 80 times against Nids and Stoats before I won my first game. Yeah, for GSC, I lost for an entire year before I started winning. Now, that was because I was really bad at the game. And I was used to, like, melee-only Tyranids, and so having nuance in a game was something that I was not accustomed to. So it wasn't just GSC hard, it was I had to stop relying on being able to have the Swarm Lord give my Gene Sealers an extra advance move in the shooting phase, right? So, you know, we learn. Ooh, I've never tried the silvers from Vallejo. I've heard good things about Vallejo. I don't know. I'm just like a full on I'm sold with Pro-Acryl. Everything they do, I just realized I only have to base 5 things. This is way too much texture paste for this, but oh well. I also do this very sloppy. Domain expansion. Sloppy texture paste. Domain expansion. Sloppy I shouldn't. Nope. Jesus is watching. What was I saying? Oh yeah, man, Pro-Acryl is just nice. I'm not the biggest fan of their oranges and yellows, because if anyone has worked with them, you will understand that what's the word? They're goopy, I guess is the way to put it, and they're just not my favorite to work with. But just about everything else I'm fine with. And like they're also go through an airbrush very, very well. Sand texture, paint a little airbrush. Wait, sand texture paint, a little airbrush for some color, and some of those sticky brushes, easy mode. What? Sand texture? A little. Are you putting texture paste through an airbrush? I'm so confused. Really one of my favorite things in the modeling and basing part of the hobby, but that's also because monetary of wet blending and non-metallic metal. Good heavens. Trying to catch up on chat is hectic. I don't know how bigger streamers do it to where like shit's just like flying by. You just kind of gotta like grab a comment and hold on to it for dear fucking life sometimes, man. Because like I can't be looking at chat right now when I'm doing shit like this, right? Like I have to know where my brush is going. So like I come back to chat and I'm like, oh fuck, I missed half a season. What happened in this week's episode? Who's talking? What's going on? What's happening? Sorry. The Tucker Carlson stem has got a fucking chokehold on me, apparently. Ba-da-da-da-da. Oh. See, when the brushing stops, when I go, oh, that's when the deer in headlights me is able to look at the chat. It's like a batch painting, so I don't like it. Paint on my blah, 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 blah. New Procro one step warm yellow is goated. It is. So the one step is their like contrast paints effectively, right? Towards like a thin medium or a thinned down medium or whatever the fuck of yellow. I might have to try that out. I haven't tried really any of their one steps or speed paints or whatever the fuck it is, but I'll look into it for sure. I'm drinking Procreals I picked up for No Hawks. I have fluorescent purple and green and bright jade. So the jade line is fucking crazy. At any given time, I make sure that I have at least 2 to 3 of the jade. And then 1 to 2 of the dark jade and bright jade. Because it's just my favorite color that they've done. I find any reason to put it on any model. I think it makes models look better. It's like the best green you will have. It's so funny too, because people that will like use the jade immediately become like, people who are like, yeah, dude, this jade's fucking crazy. Oh my god. And it's like the cult of jade. It's fucking nuts. Freaking nuts. There's a reason Tabletop Titans has a producer to yap with me specifically. Wait, what? For shades as well as purple and pink for my GSC tails. I'm confused, but hell yeah, good for you. Procro is great, but I did find they took a little getting used to, but well worth it. Yeah, that's fair. Well, folks, we're at a bit of an impasse because oh boy, is there too much toothpaste to be used, but I don't need all this toothpaste. You know, too much texture, not enough base. What should we use this with? Do I have anything that like I need based? Like kind of my Raveners, but like not really. I mean, like Thulia's like kind of, is she kind of flat, right? Not back here. Oh my god. But like, maybe we just like make some piles, right? That can be fine. Like, tap up. Just make some mounds of shit, I guess. Just really glop it on there. Just really make sure we just fucking destroy this brush. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. And then now, we just... Oh, I realized I was doing that off camera. I apologize so much. Get this all in. I'm gonna wait. Chat, someone set like a timer for like 20 to 30 minutes. Could I do that myself? Yes, but I want you guys to do it. It's interactive. Someone set like a timer for 20-30 minutes. I want, when this has a little bit more resistance, to come back and then stab the brush into it a couple times to like kind of retexture it. That way it's not as blobby, if that makes sense. Because right now, if I do this, right, it is a different texture, right? It's not this kind of rocky texture. So if there's a little bit more resistance, right, then basically there's like less water in it because it's drying. And so it'll be a little bit easier to, what's the word? Shape. Yes. God, sometimes I feel like a fucking Bluetooth, what is the show? The dog. Blue's Clues audience member. Jesus. Or Jesus. All right. Jesus is watching. Let me just cough straight into the mic. LOI, I meant Lindsay in context of keeping up and talking to chat, Flu. Sorry, I lost context of the hallways of time. No, you're totally fine. What niche do you wish that GSC could occupy in the triangle that exists between durability, damage, and speed? And if you were to make a faction secondary for GSC, what would you want it to be? I want GSE to exist. It's almost like how do you rate combo, right? Because like that's what it is I don't think GSE should be the fastest. I don't think GSE should be the most damage, and I don't think I definitely don't think it should be the most durable. But I want it to be able to pick apart everything else, right? I want it to be reactive. So I want it to be almost like amorphous isn't the word, but like damage needs to exist. Durability should only exist in aberrants, but even then I'm fine if they like aren't the like it's just a giant meat shield, right? Like this dude, this is going to fuck you up, right? But a gun that is designed to pierce flesh and make that flesh go boom is still going to kill this, right? So I do want it. I if I have to pick the three, it's full glass cannon, right? It is primarily teched into damage and then mostly speed, but I don't want speed through advance and charge and assault. I want speed through deep strike and uppy downy and repositioning, right? Stuff like that. But I want it to be a debuff army almost. I think that's where like I'm really struggling with GSC right now, is the fact that like I almost want it to be like a Death Guard style army, to where I want Vex. I want to be able to make my opponent, you know, have worse ballistic skill or worse saves because, you know, we fucked with their supply lines or something like that. Or maybe for like the first round of combat, like you have an escalating thing you could do. God, this is, I'm going to describe the like Chaos Knights rule to where like the first round that you can pick, like every round maybe you pick debuffs for your opponent's army, to where like, hey, the first round I'm going to make it to where you're like -2 to move or something that like that, right? Or I'm going to make it to where in the context of 11th edition, maybe we could have it to where, oh, now for this round I'm going to choose -6 detection range on all of your units, right? To where now you can't really like find my guys, and it's, you have to like really come dig me out, right? Crazy way to phrase that sentence, but I think you get what I mean. I don't know, I just want things to fuck with people. Also, sorry, before we get too back, because it's like so hard to define, but there's a new person to chat, and I want to make sure. Lindsay, okay, cool. Floof, how hard was it to have the mouse strengths on 32s for pure string gene stealers? They look amazing, but I heard they're too big. Let me go show you them in a second. We got Neko here. I just started GSC this week. Zero knowledge on it. What is the point of resurgence on MSU Acolyte Metamorphs? Leaders don't come back with it, right? Correct. But the 5-man isn't meant to really do damage. A lot of times what it is you want them to either skirmish into other like scouts and all that kind of stuff if they're still alive, but more so like while the battle is happening right here, you want to be able to pull in a 5-man and, you know, threaten their backfield, right? Go threaten the 5 guys they have on their home expanse, or they just kind of pop back in and they're going to do an action, right? They're not there for damage. They're not there to survive. They're there to get you scoring potential. Feels like they come back and just die super easy. Yeah, dog, it's a T4 model with a 5-up armor. There's no durability there. The whole army dies super easy. That's not why you bring them. You don't bring them back and set them in front of your opponent's army. You bring them back and then you go play the game with them, right? You go score. It's a little less relevant now in 11th edition. A lot of times in 11th, you are going to be more rewarded by bringing back 10-man bricks of things or all that kind of stuff. But like in PXH, right, and the triple 1-point detachment, I often will have 5 pure strengths that have the upgrade, because when I buy them back, they still have the upgrade. They have uppy downy, and then they can, you know, drop in my home field, help screen for a turn. They go back up, and then maybe I draw outflank and behind enemy lines, and so now those 5 pure strengths are going to go back behind my opponent's lines, get both of those secondaries. can my opponent turn around and go kill them super easy? Sure, yes. But there's also a bigger prevailing problem going on to where, like, you know, there's a bunch of stuff happening in the middle of the board, right? Hopefully. And so it might be difficult to go do that, right? It's oftentimes semi-difficult to go deal with 5 Flacos that are assailing the 5 intercessors that are on your home point. You know, that maybe they're probably not going to kill all 5 of them, but they'll kill 3, and if you get the charge off, it gets real bad for them. Maybe they aren't able to go back there with something because the rest of their army is tagged, right? And so it's never, oh, I'm going to buy back these 5 Flacos and, you know, kill your fucking Defiler. But I am going to buy back these 5 Flacos, and then while the rest of my army is doing its thing, I'm going to go score some points with this 5-man. And also, yes, sorry. The Flacco, I do this all the time. The common terminology that a lot of people use is Flacco is the Acolyte with Hand Flamer, and Taco is the Acolyte with Heavy Mining Tool. So you take the T out of the tool and Acolyte, right? Each one is ACO, so ACO. And then Flamer's FL, so FL ACO, so Flacco, and then the T off a tool, ACO, so Tool Acolyte. I like how I was like spelling it out as if that did anything. So I will say on the channel, I want to say like a year ago, I do want to revise it. I did do a video talking about resurgence points and how to use them. I would recommend going and looking it up, because it kind of breaks down every unit, the strengths and weaknesses of each unit, and why you would want to bring them back. And so that can be very helpful for you. Give GC a 500-point deep strike sideboard instead of reanimation. Okay. I could see that. That would be cool. I don't know how healthy that would be. And to be honest, most of my lists, like, yes, I like being able to like cater some stuff to where I take out, I'm taking out, you know, my volume to go put in some more anti-tank. Sure, like that's cute. What I would really like to do, and hear me out, I want, I want like GSC to have like 2 to 3 army rules. I think it needs to go back to like 8th or 9th edition to where you just had like, oh, here's blips and here's crossfire and here's all this shit, right? You have multiple things. But one of them is you can pick any disposition and you can pick at the table. That's what I want. Is that insane? Yes, I don't care. I want to be able to look at your army and say, I'm doing take and hold. I want to be able to look at your army and go, I'm doing disruption. What's the best mission for me right here? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the one I've been planning for generations. That should be a thing. Yeah. That makes sense. I love our revive board, LMO. It's so cool and versatile. I can do so much with that, with my list mid game and swap around. I will say I am, you guys are welcome for Flacco and Taco. I used them in the stat check Discord at the beginning of 10th, and Innis called me an idiot. Now everyone's using it. Dog, like 3 people came up with that. You can't fucking claim it. Although you probably can. I don't know. I claim I claim like half the shit I do. What am I doing? I'm getting snow. I'll be right back, chat. Don't fucking move. Also, if you're in here, remember to like the fucking stream. It lets more people see it. Where is my snow? I need my snow. Snow money, snow problems. Out here fucking stimming. Just for the love of the game. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I think it's downstairs. Never mind, it was on the shelf in the hallway. Okay. Guys, you're gonna see some fucking movie magic here, okay? I'm gonna just do a little bit of... Ooh, that's cool! Oh, you can't even see it. It's too bright. Hold on. What if I, like... What if I shift that? What if I just fucking... No, the light is too bright. There you go. You see that? Look at that little fucking bowl. Right? Isn't that cool? The air pressure put in like a perfect bowl into the texture paste. That's just neat. Science is cool. I think. I don't know what that is. Anyways, what is a brush that I'm fine losing forever? This one. Miami Snow, that's frowned upon. Jesus is watching. You guys like the little fucking VTuber, kind of VTuber avatar that I got going on here? I made this like so long ago. And just haven't used it because I haven't like had the want to stream. But I felt it was cute, you know. Finding the computer screen was difficult. If anyone has like any ideas to where I could find like a good like hologram screen, if that makes sense, to where I could just easily like cut out where my face would go and put that in, that would be so helpful. Also, look at this. I just put a little bit of snow on here and then I just lightly brush it across, right? I just bring it over and I basically just dry brush with the texture paste of the snow. And look at that. Look at that skill. Look how amazing I was to be able to like specifically go in and dab in each part of snow perfectly, right? And totally not just fling it around. I think it's so sick. Let me make sure I do this on camera. Am I lined up? Cool, I'm lined up. Once again, we just kind of, woo! He's hitting the skill button. They're beginning to believe. You know. And I just do it ever so lightly, and I let it form as randomly as it wants to do. Get in a little bit onto the toes. I let snow get on the parts that are going to drag, because that just makes sense. I just brush it in. And there we go. Look at that. Doesn't that base look good? The ADHD forgot the mouse trains. I'll get them in a second. Shut up. Let me do cool things. Boom. But also, yes, I did technically forget them. Shut up. This is what happens when you don't put the texture paste on enough and the bumpies don't occur. It just kind of gets a little blobby. So you do need to be a little heavy-handed, but that's fine. What we can do is we can kind of come in a little bit, and now that is just a pile of snow, right? Now it's looking a bit more natural. And then we just kind of come in. We pet this a little bit. We put a little bit on the feet. And there we go. And that's it. I like it. I think it's cool. And it's, the best part is, it's fucking easy. So, once again, just Procreal. Grey Earth and Snow Ultrafine. Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Oh god. Oh, there's so many people who've talked in chat. Shit, I can't move. Copyright infringement. Give me $10 every time. No, wait, fuck. Is that the song? Oh god, please no. I'll be, wait, can I'm just gonna pop over to, guys, it's bad. I'm gonna be so fucking real. I'm gonna just let you know right now. Everything I do, all this stuff, I know you can't see my face, but it's just anime women in depression. It's just anime women in depression, dog. That's all the music I listen to. Discord knows me too well, or YouTube knows me too well. Okay, anyways. Yellow haters, you guys like it? Oh god. Did this okay, it was loading on my end. Everyone can hear me? Did the stream go down? No, it looks like we're good. Okay, cool. Computer board versus your mouse train, PSG to show off. Guys, like the stream, only two of us. I have one of them. Yellow haters, Miami Snow, da da da. It's got a StarCraft Brood Wars vibe, and I fucking love it. Fallout vibes. I'm trying to go for like the Nexus hologram board. How did I? This picture is from a Warhammer thing, I think. Out of whatever. The day I found out those Eldar Space camouflage paint jobs were done by randomly flicking a toothbrush was disappointing. That's fair. Fallout New Vegas, Mr. House. I get okay. Yeah, like it is Fallout. I will give you that. It's very Fallout. You can do cool things, but I played Skaven in Fantasy and GSC in 40k. I will be irritating. Yeah, I just want to be a little. I just want to be a little hecker. 5 out of 5 can hear you. What do you mean 5 out of 5? Anyways. So, in terms of the pure strains, if you will notice, looking at the feet, like they're kind of there, right? Like they overhang, right? If we were to look at this, we can see, let me turn the light back up a little bit. Oh God, way too bright. We can see like the cloth and stuff like that, right? But that's what a basic gene sealer can do. The other model, right, is we are overhang, but no more than like a regular gene sealer. This is still totally fine. The foot hangs off like a little bit, but like you're able to get it on there just on the edges. The only one that's rough is this. On most of them, I have it trimmed about, like I'll cut right here. Oh God. Well, I'm gonna be doing that live apparently. Let's get to, okay, that's just making it worse. That's fine. I needed to paint these up anyways. This was just getting it done for Tacoma. You'll cut like right there-ish, and then can I get a fucking brush that can take off this white? Okay, there we go. And then get rid of the little nubby. I don't have a nubby cut there, but like that's the only one to where it's like pretty bad. But everything else, like it just fits on, right? So yeah, if you just cut that little bit, everything fits on the 32s for the mouse strains. I think. Oh no, we do have more things that need to be upscaled. So I was gonna say I think we're done, but no, I've got a lot more stuff. I was dumb and I should have done the terrain stuff earlier. Oh my God, that is blowing out the fucking camera. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. I can hear you. I can hear you. 3 out of 5 can hear you. Why did I get a 3 out of 5? Timer's at 16 minutes. I'll check in like 10 minutes for the 30 minutes. What was the timer for? I even forget. Okay, that's really reasonable. Then actually, pretty much what I had to do with Skaven characters being proxies of 40k GC characters. Yeah, like it's totally fine. Oh right, for Thulia's texture thing. Let me see if it can start to fuck with it now. A little bit actually, yeah. Might be good. Yeah, I think we're good. This is just enough. Where it's like, if I press too much, I'll like fuck up like not the membrane, but like there's like a skin. You feel me? It's like when you leave a ranch out. My depression anime girl has stopped playing her music, and I'm upset. What's going on? Break chord to end your suffering to. I want to go to the other ones, but I don't know if they're not copyright. I don't want to die. Copyright free breakcore. Really breakcore for 0-cell organisms. No copyright playlist. Top comment. The following I have copyrighted in 2026. God damn it. Which ones? How far into? The Deadly Sins and Fantasy World. The one at 12 minutes in, and the last one. Fine, fuck it. I'll just remember. I won't. We don't feel you, but we can hear you. Okay, well, you know, that's good, I think. I don't want you in my house. And yes, it is still a little wet, but we do want it to still be wet and formable. We just want it to, how do I describe this? If you'll notice when I was fucking with it the first time, right, we got this kind of texture to where it balled up or it would be too spiky. But now that it's hardening up a little bit, we can just kind of poke it, and because of the brush being all fucked up, it just acts as like a bunch of needles poking in, and it will then retain that texture of the more gravelly nature, if that makes sense. Shove some texture into there. And that's all we want, because as you saw with the other bases, we want it to be able to grab the snow when we just kind of like lightly brush it over the top, right? And so if it's a mound or if it's just a little too spiked up, it's not going to look natural enough. And so that's why we kind of got to come back a little bit and basically add in the texture. I think that's, and then a little bit more here, break up that membrane. Don't you like how like scientific and like duct taped together my painting processes? I guarantee you Squidward ain't got shit on this. He don't even know what fucking world I'm playing in right now. He's just like, what? Why would you do it like this? There's probably like 12 other ways you could have done this better. I'm like, yeah, dog, but what if you like fucked with it? Right? Okay. That I think is fine. Cool. All right. We finished up with texture paste, so the big box can go away. Everyone say goodbye to the big box. Oh god. Okay, no, we're not. No, we're not. This. What is this mix? Break or stay awake to. Oh. Sure. Sure, dog. It can be this. Actually, no. We're just going back to the original. We're going back to the OG. It's fine. It's an hour. Also, my God, I've just realized we've been live for 2 hours. Stream's going good. Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Okay. I hope everyone has been enjoying the stream. I wanted to do something more relaxed to where when I'm not working on videos or doing articles or, you know, coaching sessions or at an event, I want to start doing these kinds of things to where there's a lot of times to where people have questions that, you know, a lot of times there's so many random one-off questions in like my comment section. Headed back to work. Have a great stream, man. The day is nigh. Hey, you have a good time at work. Have fun. And like the question is too much to answer in the comment section of the video, but it's not enough to answer it as a video itself, if that makes sense. And so it's in this weird ground of you know, like I don't want to answer it then, but it does need to be answered. And so I like wanted to set up the stream because maybe in that world, you know, we can have this thing to where the person comes in and asks like, how do I use my resurgence points for the 5-mans, right? And I can just be like, okay, here's the 30 seconds to talk about like how you would use that, right? And so yeah, I don't know. It feels a purpose, I think. And hopefully people can start to realize like that's when you can ask those kinds of questions and like get an actual real response. I'll probably start mentioning that in the videos as well. I'll probably try and set up like a consistent time that I do streams. And oh good heavens. That's when people can bring that kind of stuff in. Trying to like clean up this brush a little. Oh, you know what? We have a sprue for this. By the way, this, don't feel too bad for this brush. It's been in this state for like 1.5 years. Yeah, like a monthly FAQ, but like almost like, you know, I still want to do it like, it'd be nice to do this like weekly, maybe bi-weekly. Because like, listen, the thing is that I'm getting close enough to where I might be able to quit my job and start doing this full time. And that's going to buy me a lot of time to where I can just be here, right? And I don't know. I just want to do more things. It gives me another avenue to talk to you guys. It gives me another way to where I could possibly support myself if this starts getting monetized. It's just, you know, more things, which is good. There we go. Nice and fluffy. Cool. Okay. I think. Oh no. We have. Alright, chat, I'm about to blow your fucking mind with what we're gonna actually be painting. That's right, boyos. Cataphrons. And a lot of them, too. Genuinely, I think Cataphrons are so sick in 11th edition. I went to an RTT not too long ago, and I brought Rad Lords, which is the Rad Zone cohort and Lords of the Forge. And basically had 2 Cataphron bricks to where they were just shooting downfield and were constantly getting the Lord's buff to where they could just still shoot and be hit, or they could shoot and still be hidden. And good heavens, it was disgusting. Being able to shoot out just 1 billion damage 2 and damage 3 shots and then not get shot back. And then if they try and run at me, I had like a 10 and a 5 of Ruststalkers and a 10 and a 5 of Infiltrators, and I just ran that at people and said, no, I have a Advance and Charge from Thulia and a Auto 6 Advance, so I'm just gonna touch you and make you not touch me. Oh god, it's such a cool list. So next time I go to an RTT, I want this to be more like fully painted. You feel me? And I know a lot of people are very... I have heard from people that Hidden feels like it does nothing in this edition. And I feel like Hidden doesn't do anything if you aren't specifically trying to work with Hidden. In the games to where I have like gone out of my way to do certain plays that involve the mechanic, it's so fucking strong. But yeah, if you're just like kind of hanging out, it really can feel like it does nothing. So I get both sides of it, but I'm almost on the like the side of like, hey, if it's not working for you, you should like double down. You should try it even more. Because like this Rad Lords list, right? It's got a Destroyer brick and it's got a Breacher brick. And at any point, if like before turn 3 either brick dies, I kind of feel like I just lose the game. But it's got enough trash to keep people from the Cataphrons that like I just kind of stand in front of my opponent and say, hey, you can't get within 15 of these guys. And they're just going to get like 2 to 3 activations and you win the game off of that. It's so good. Here's one for you. You charge bikes in much in 10th. I used to stand them off in 10th and make my opponent spend their fight phase clearing them now that we're a little further into things. I don't like charging bikes at all. Unless it's specifically like to tag something that doesn't have like a fallback and do whatever it wants to do. Because oftentimes bikes are going into the middle of your opponent's army turn 1 or turn 2 to do the mortals, right? And like it's just kind of a thing of, one, what are you charging that isn't picking them up in combat, right? Like if it's a shooting unit, fine, but you're just kind of like, if you don't have something out in the middle of the field that they're like stopping that thing from shooting and killing, then there's no real reason to do it. And the game can be played at such a like slower pace that getting jailed isn't really that effective. As well, it can just open up like a heroic intervention option from your opponent, to where if they are playing mixed arms, if there is something that is like, you know, a half decent melee brick, just that brick being able to roll for a heroic and then possibly get something big and then swing charge off of you, kill you, and then get a bunch of distance on your like in that, to where now they can charge stuff that was the bikes were protecting. It's not something that I'm actively looking for right now. Now, there's definitely cases to where I will charge something, but it needs to be very specific. As well, like, I don't think their damage is relevant. Like, maybe into Eldar, I would do it, right? Just be like, yeah, I tagged you with a mortar. Might as well get some, like, power weapon swings into you. Sure, why not? Fire, they wreck me so often. I've kind of fallen off of bikes in 11th, to be honest. I feel like skirmishing is more or less dead right now. It's is and it isn't. Oh god, I just broke it. Oh, whatever. Sure, you can sit there. It is and it isn't. I think that if the game got brought down a little bit in power level, and you can deny scoring a lot easier, then skirmishing comes back fucking immediately, right? And like the need for relevant skirmishers rockets up. But I will agree that right now it doesn't matter all that much. Either lists are going too tall and you're not skirmishing, you're just throwing chaff at like one of their 3 defilers, right? Or it's a rat army and they just have infinite resources and you're not necessarily skirmishing, you're just trying to limit what they can do, right? It doesn't exist in the way that we thought it did in 10th. I really love Magus model. Couldn't see a use of her though. The Magus, like on paper, she's great, right? Being able to unbattle shock is very good. The 18-inch -1 to hit on a 2-up is very strong, especially when you realize that what's her face? It doesn't need to be a visible target. It's just anything within 18, I believe. Actually, let me double check that. Boom. Oh god. Hello? There we go. Go to lists. We'll go to just any GSC one just so I can grab the Magus real quick. Inspect. Select one enemy unit with an 18 of the, and visible to the side. Okay, so for her it does need to be visible. It's the Clamavis that doesn't. So one that's good with hidden. Well, both good and bad with hidden, right? So if she's able to select them as a target, unless she has go to ground and is like 12.1 away from them, if they're visible, then she's visible, meaning that she's probably going to get shot and die, right? In the other instance, words. In the other instance, her just being able to, like, even once a game, just be someone within 24, take a battle shock, or not a battle shock, you're -1 to hit, possibly -1 to wound. Like, it's fine, but all the shooting armies right now are prepped for that, right? Especially with, like, Legion of Excess is a very big, like, prevalent thing in the meta right now, to where you still have things running around that are going to be in cover and be -1 to hit. Carnival is one of the most, like, relevant EC lists, to where they still have the strat to be -1 to hit. There are things that are going to be -2 to hit, and so shooting armies have to have that in mind, right? And so you're either Tau, and you go, I ignore cover and I ignore hit mods. You're Votann, and you say, I ignore hit mods. Like, it just, it doesn't matter, right? And so she's cute, but she's doing something that I think, like, everyone is already just inadvertently prepped for. And so she's kind of, like, already countered, right? And then also into, like if you go into Orcs, man, who gives a shit? They were hitting on 6s anyways. And then also, for the most part, they're just kind of charging you, right? Into a melee matchup, she does nothing. So it's I think she just needs a fundamental redesign, right? Which, I mean, Codex is coming soon, so here's hoping. But I don't know. I don't want to rant too hard on her. It's still a good model. It's still something to where, like, if you had the 50 points and you said, fuck it, I'm going to throw a Magus in the list, yeah, dog, go for it, right? She's a solo 32mm base because you don't attach her to anything. Don't ever attach that model. She doesn't buff a unit. So she's a single 32mm base that can go fit in a corner and do an action. Yay! Smile. But like, okay. That's fine. I could have also just sent 5 Flaccos and then bought them back when my opponent kills them, you know? I don't know. She's not my favorite right now. Where is my Thilva? Bingo. That's my next question. When do you think 11th edition Codex Shock? I'm weighing in if I should buy a 3rd Combat Patrol or wait for 11th edition Battle Force. Dog, I have no fucking idea. We could be the last ones. We could be the 3rd ones. I would love for it to be close, but I can't. I don't know, you know. If there's a world to where someone could glean something from, like, okay, what was the list rotation, or like what was the armies that got codexes, what was the order in 9th edition, and then we compare it to 10th edition, we can say, oh, maybe they prioritized codexes that got their, or armies that got their codex late, and then, you know, we could possibly understand that we might be getting ours later since we got ours pretty early in 10th edition, all things considered. Yeah, I don't know. I have zero information to go off of. Because even right now, as we've seen, they aren't even talking about the Space Marine Codex, right? In my personal opinion, that's because they want to, like, the 3 months of balances need to happen before they start adding codexes into the mix, right? So that thing to where they said, hey, every month we're going to do a balance patch for the first 3 months. And then I think at the end of that 3 months is when they're going to put out the Orc Codex. And then Space Marines should probably be followed behind that shortly, right? Because even then, pre-orders for the Orc Codex haven't gone out, right? Like, we're still waiting on that. We've just seen, once again, the over-designed Orc data sheets, which I will forever be mad at, because what the fuck is going on there? So, yeah, I hope that answers the question. Mag as a leader, she can go alone. Yeah. If I use brothers armed with Neos, it needs to be visible. Mana hate card and flow access. Don't take Magus, take a Clamavus on your expansion to protect it from Demon 6-inch and other deep strike while battle shocking stuff on the middle. So yes, but also no, because like the Clamavus is a support now. So he has to attach to a unit. That means you're probably attaching him to tacos. And it's not 50 points you have on your home point now. It's 120. Right? But you also, it's not even 120, it's actually 300, because it's 120 for that and then 200 effectively for the 2 Ridge Runners that you have back there. So now 300 points of your army are on your backfield screening it. That's not cheap and efficient, right? Like, that's not good, because now you're playing in a game to where you're already down in terms of damage because it's GSC damage in 11th edition, and GSC 11th damage is not good. But now it's 1700 versus 2k, and that's just setting you up for failure, right? Does that make sense? Next question: when do you think the 11th is good or draw? I don't know. Casino runner, because Xenocreed says if she dies, I get full hit rerolls into that unit. Yeah, like into Xenocreed, there's like a case for, right? Because you want another martyr, a martyr proc. Sure, like that's fine. But even then, like, I would go, like, 3 Icon Wards, a Primus, and then after that, the Magus, right? Because I would value the redeploy before I would value what her datasheet offers, if that makes sense. Because once again, the Primus, you will always use his redeploy. right? You can always use it to mess with your opponent. The Magus does not do something in certain matchups. So it just is what it is. You can rant, just don't swear. No. Why do boys have 3 datasheet abilities? Basically 4. Like, because once again, look at their fucking, their shooting, right? Non-monster vehicle lethal hits. That's against bike, that's against beast, that's against swarm, that's against infantry, that's against fucking psyker, right? Like, that's against character. It's very dumb, and I do not like it, and I don't understand why they get a once a game +1 to hit in shooting. That doesn't make any sense. This is a melee unit. Yeah, I think it's over designed. Oh, you're able to do like even just the thing of you're able to do actions while in combat. That's going to come up almost never, right? It's not that relevant of a rule, but it's still just like, well, then why do you have it, right? Like, why do you need that for a battle line unit for boys? It's what? I don't understand. It's just over designed bullshit, right? And then, oh, you know, orc players were sick of only having a once a game wah. Okay, so they have it once a game, right? But now it's riled up, okay? But who gives a shit? It's the wah. You put them in the wah. And then in your command phase, Gaz can put 3 things in the wah. But then also this Stompa that you're never going to bring, but it's still just weird because anything that gets out of the Stompa has the wall. So anything that's in the Stompa can get out 3 and then have advance and charge. Anything that is near Gaz, right? He can pick 3 things to put into the wall. Oh boy. If only you had like 3 durable fucking bricks in orcs, right? Oh, but you're just an MSU army, so that 3 is really restricted. No, it's not. You pick your 3 best things, and now they're in the wall. They also showed that new character that riles guys up. I even fucking forgot how he does it, but he does it. And so now, instead of going, oh, well, you get a once a game want where you have the invuln and you have advance and charge and you have assault. No, orcs just have that. They're just always going to have it now. Oh. Like, I don't, what the fuck are we doing here? Right? The problem, I'm ranting too far and too long. There was something I had put in like an LGS I'm in, to where it's like, imagine it for GSC, right? Imagine our rule is just the swarm host one, right? To where we get buffs when they come in from reserves. Cool. We can, let's say our army rule, you know, is that, but also it says, hey, once a game, you can just uppy downy, right? But then also the Primus says, hey, in your command phase, you can pick 3 things and just uppy downy them immediately. But also, we're going to go ahead and say the Patriarch says, hey, once every command phase, I can pick someone within X amount of thing, do a leadership check, and now they also can uppy downy for free. And then also in every single detachment I have, they're going to go ahead and give me a strat to uppy downy as well. And then just for the fuck of it, anything that gets out of a truck can just go ahead and uppy downy as well. Why not? Fucking go for it, big dog. And then on top of that, neophytes are going to have sticky, and they're going to be able to get precision when they come in from reserves, and also they're going to be able to shoot and do actions. Does that sound fair? Does that sound balanced? Does that sound, are we so fucking serious? Oh god, someone just came in. Yo chat, how's it going? I'm so sorry. You came in on, someone got me ranting on the Orcs Codex. My apologies. But yeah, it's, what? Like, what are these data sheets, right? I don't... God. Sorry, I want orcs to be good, but I'm tired of every data sheet that has come out in the past year just being a new Twin Lance, right? Like, what are we talking about here? It's just like, it's now the non-character form of Twin Lance we're seeing, to where, hey, you get 3 abilities here. I just, what the, and like, it's not even 3 abilities, right? Once again, I will point the fuck out. Hold on, where is this goddamn leak? We're going here. I need to find it. Bonfire team chat. Is it in here? Is there one? No, that's the yesterday one. I mean, we can go to the yesterday one. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-boom. Oh, I didn't even realize this got shared in that chat. That's fun. Orc rules get you riled up. The fuck yeah, they do. Where is this? Sure. Wog. It's Wog time. Stompa. Okay, this is the Stompa. Hold on. Where in the frick? Where the heck? Chat, I can't look at you right now. Where is here is bigger, tougher Gaz. Gaz does look sick, but also I have problems here as well. What is this? What? So okay, we have ammo runs. I will say there's a very funny flavor thing here to where it's place any number of tokens and then you can remove them all. So you could put like 100 tokens. It's still only once a battle. It's not once per token, right? You don't get this for 5 turns. It's still once a battle, but you can still mark it with 20 tokens, which is funny. Okay, so when you make a charge move, you have lethal hits. So you just have lethal hits and fighting. But also if you look at all these guns, non-monster vehicle lethal, non-monster vehicle lethal, non-monster vehicle lethal, non-monster vehicle lethal, 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 lethal. Why? On everything except the rocket launcher and the torrent gun, you have non-monster vehicle lethal hits. That's a 4th ability, dog. And then being engaged does not prevent this unit from being eligible to start an action. Why? Why did they need that? And then they got all, they can take all of their thing. They can take a burner, a rocket launcher, a big shooter. Ooh. And then also, just for the heck of it, all the knobs can get big choppers, so all of them can have cleave 2. Cleave 2. What? Into 5 Space Marines. This guy is 6 attacks at 712. Huh? Why are they Death Guard now? Oh, wait, that we meant to click. Where are you? Where am I? Pixel bar. There we go. Cool. What? I'm deeply annoyed. And so that's the thing, right? It's just like, if everyone becomes this, then sure, who gives a heck, right? If everyone's broken, no one is. But I don't want that. I'm fine with some units being shitty. Why? It's not even on this one, but there's one to where I'm pretty sure I saw Grots res themselves once a game. Grots just get free resurgence. What? Why? Why do we need that? Why do we need that on Grots? Huh? I'm sorry. Is my point getting across? To where they're just, yes, it's cool to I'm collecting myself. We're taking a breath and we're having fun. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. We're painting models. I'm not tilted at all. It just seems like we're doing to just for the fuck of All good. I was enjoying the Righteous Anchor. You have to do a wall before you complain about orcs, lol. I've played orcs. I want to collect the army. They're just busted right now, and I don't want people to call me a meta chaser. Holy orcs look so broken. It depends on points, right? If this is all pointed appropriately, then they're fine. Sure, fine. Fuck it. Go. Whatever. I just got back from our RTT and got first. That's 2 in a row. Good job, dude. I saw the League 2. It's crazy. Do you think the list you ran against Forrest on the game at Vanguard Tactics would be good for a GT? God, no. Don't look at that list. I talked about this in a video I did. Let's go find that actually. We're gonna go look at a small thing of me real quick. Where are we? Chat, we're going back to screen 1. Everyone say hi to screen 1. Getting better at 40k. Specifically, this look at this idiot. Hey, where do I do it? You know, to continue with this theme of being productive. No, it's not this. Although you should take pictures of the games. Wrong with me, right? Instead of putting myself down. Here we go. Chad, can you tell me what's wrong with this? Well, I didn't give you the context of it. So, in this game, I bought back the for 6 points these pure strains here. That means I cannot buy back any of the neophytes. That means I can't buy back the 10 mana of Aberrant, or 10 mana of Aberrants. I'm pretty sure I can't bring back these. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're 4 now. I thought they were 5 at the time, but it means I can only bring back one of these 2, right? That is bad. There's also no 5-mans to run. Like, it's not good. You should drop one of these Benny Neo bricks, get some trash in here, get some 2-point units in. Like, the resurgence points, like, fundamentally this list is ill-designed. It's just something I wanted to run against my friend Forrest. So yes, to answer your question, I would not recommend taking that to a GT. It's something to where I wanted to try out biomass. I'm still kind of using Titan Duels as a testing ground. Shout out Adrian. I appreciate him very much. I've been trying to get on and be a part of the stream for a while now, and I'm very glad that he has done Titan Duels. And it's a very great learning piece because it allows people to see the competitive scene and meet competitive players and kind of get over the stigma that competitive players are just fucking assholes when it's just normal people that like having good games. I always like to say that the difference between a normal 40k player and a competitive player is that I'm not gonna do a gotcha. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna remind you if there's a thing that I can do that can fuck your plans up, but I'm not going to let you play your whole turn and be like, well, I win now and I table you because you forgot this one thing. You think the list you ran? It certainly makes me worry for other factions if this is the benchmark. I don't because okay, to go back to the orcs thing, if everyone is over-designed, how do you do a Hospitaller? How do you do a Clamavus? How do you do a Nexos? How do you do a Saboteur? How did with these factions that have more characters than their units, how at some point there's going to be too many rules. At some point there's they're going to have to start hand holding, right? It just doesn't make sense. For the most part, people who hate competitive play always are way more toxic. Low key, yeah. It's when you go and play a Marvel Rivals or whatever the fuck, and you go into quick play, you will find people who flame you more in there than people who flame you more in ranked. Now, also at the same time, you'll notice that also at the top ranks of your masters or grandmasters or whatever the fuck, people are a lot more cooperative with each other because it's also they're not blaming the game. They're not saying, oh, my team. Now there definitely are people who will do that still. Obviously, there's still shitters in the 40k scene. But there's a general understanding of the game that we all kind of have. And so, I don't know, man. When I play the game, I don't want to win because I want by a gotcha. I'm going to tell you what I want to do, and then I want to win the game because I played better. And if you beat me and I knew what you were doing anyways, but I couldn't stop it, then you won. And that's what I want, right? So that's all good. Where's my music? Break order, ending your suffering too. Forrest got me into Space Wolves. He's such a G. Also, it's nice to see a great GSC player on Titan Duels. Glad you're representing us. I will say, you can take Forrest's list to a GT. You can go fuck up a GT with that list, because who the fuck is going to stop you? I've been toying with running 3x5 upgraded pure chains with Patty. Every game, I just wish I had more than 2x5 to respawn and run around with. The 10 man, I struggle to hide with Patty. I mean, that's fair. I don't know if I super love it because pure strains 6 through 10 are only 60 points, if I'm correct. Right? Because it's 75 and then they're 140. So it's 65 points, I think. Yeah, since starting comp play about 6 months ago, I've had only one negative experience with a guy who was super salty about every bad dice roll he had. Yeah, you're still going to have dipshits, right? Because you're also going to have the guys who they don't have a friend group anymore because they've been just a dick while playing. And so they go to an RTT because the judge said, because the TO there says, well, this guy paid $25, so he's going to get a game, right? And until he's kicked out of that store, he's going to be able to play there, right? So you still have shitters, and there's definitely people to where when I see them on the sign up sheet for an RTT, I'll be like, man, I really don't want to fucking go into this guy. But like, even then in the game, it's like 99% of the time it's fine, right? You can just put away the fact that you don't like each other and play the fucking game. But like, the astronomical, overwhelming part is you are in a room with people who are so interested in the hobby that they paid money to go to an event for it, more than likely to just also play a couple games of Warhammer, right? And so you're kind of meeting people who are meeting you in the middle ground on the social contract of like, we're all here to do the damn thing, right? I don't really know how to explain it. I think it's just something to where if you aren't going to events, I would just greatly encourage you to go to one and just try it out. If it isn't for you, then it's not for you, and that's totally fine. My channel isn't to make people go to events. My channel is to make it to where you can play this game. My God, I am overheated as fuck. Sorry, this light right here generates like so much heat. I'm getting like almost nauseous. Yeah, I think that covers everything I wanted to feel or say about that. Oop, ran out of water. Drink water, my friends, and like the streak. Wait, what? Ran out of water. Drink water. Friends, and like this. Oh, like the stream. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We're at 22 likes and like 21 people watching right now, which is kind of fucking crazy. I'm gonna finish up the snow here. So we basically finished up with this. I'm fine putting this away. Don't look too deeply at my wet palette. There's probably something living in here, man. Every time people are like, oh, a wet palette, it lets you, use the paints the next day, but then like it's like stained into the thing, and it just, I don't know, starts asking what its name is, and I feel weird. Okay, where's my snow? Jon Snow. Here's my snow. Out here gooped up on a Saturday afternoon. What's today? Saturday? I think it's Saturday. And then we'll get the shitty brush. And once again, just do the magic trick of basically this is just a dry brush. I wonder if I should also put it into the treads. I think it'd look cool, but I don't know if I don't know. I'm scared. I don't know what to think. Hold me, chat. Yeah, I kind of mess up here when I go back and forth. It doesn't look as good in my personal opinion. So we're just gonna like put a little bit of a gloopy there. That way it's a little bit better. And then we also want to make sure to where I'm putting enough down to where even if you look like under him, right, into the Cadocy, it's still, there's like snow under it. It's not just fully blank. Oh God. We have a guy at our store, top 50 LVO, but he does one game, wins 100-0, then leaves after the first game. That's weird. I'll also say for what it's worth. Well, no, that's rude. I shouldn't say that. Yeah. Some people do events and they do it weird. Also, the thing I was going to say wasn't about the friend specifically. Sorry. It was a touching thought. I don't want people to think that I was randomly just going to shit on this guy that I knew nothing about. But let's see. Nicest guy ever. If you had to change one detachment to a different disposition in GSC, what would it be? I think Host of Ascension should be Oh God. Host of Ascension should I like for the strength of what I want it to be the best thing in the game right now. I want it to be priority. Host of Ascension more than likely is should be Disruption or Purge, right? More than likely, like the most thematic one is Disruption, but just the nature of the detachment and how killy it can be. Purge is also very good. It being Taken Hold right now isn't my favorite. Especially because while it can do Taken Hold very well, I think that Taken Hold also has a lot of missions to where you hand your opponents points for killing units. And boy howdy do you run trash. Now you can pivot Host of Ascension to not run that much trash, but I think that weakens what the list is capable of doing. So Disruption. So these Cataphrons going to be Wolf Quads, or is Floof playing AdMech now? I've had AdMech for 2 years. I'm in the running for top ITC of AdMech this year. And I don't even have like good events that I like have brought AdMech to. I just have happened, I'm like top 10 right now, and that's just with like a couple RTTs. I don't often talk about them that much because people just know me as the GSC person, and I tried to do AdMech content. And one, the community is just different. Like I don't know if they fuck with me as hard, which I mean it makes sense. I'm just getting into the faction, but also I don't know, the videos just don't perform that well because people are here for GSC stuff, and so it's already one like heavily niche faction. And while I feel like I have a lot of stuff that I could give to help the AdMech community, I'm also at the point of like, man, I got a lot of shit I got to do with GSC right now. Like, I'll get to that when I get to that. So it's kind of taken a back burner in 11th edition in terms of how much I talked about it on the channel. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to make a push and do pretty well at a couple bigger events that are going to be ending out the year. To try and get that best in faction ITC for AdMech. That way I'll walk away with 3 this year. I'll walk away with Forces of the Hivemind, GSC, and AdMech, and that'll be really, really cool. But we'll have to see. I think something that really would have helped, honestly, is if I was able to make War Masters this year, but I'm just broke right now, unfortunately. What is AdMech Guard and GSC? Actually, it's AdMech EC and GSC. I unfortunately have sold my Guard. I sold it like a while ago. I do have access to Guard. Like I can run the Brood Brothers list, but it's almost always borrowing Guard from my friends. God, I'm so behind on chat. I let that one this stream. I quit on armies. I got Sisters, GSC, and T-Sons, and hopefully I feel I focus on one army for a year or two and then another army for a year or two. So I've debated selling my 3rd army. That's fair. I don't know. I think also, so at the local RTTs, now that I've gotten to be like, everyone kind of puts me on a pedestal, which I don't super love. Like I can't complain about it too much because it comes with benefits, right? Being able to be in the status I'm at, being able to like give coaching classes, and even like, the opportunity of, hey, I'm feeling like in a month or two I could like quit my day job and just do coaching and YouTube and writing articles as my job, and then that's how I would support myself. Like that's a great blessing. But also, boy howdy do people kind of treat me differently, and it doesn't feel that good all the time. And one of them is people get really intimidated when I play GSC. And like they kind of just don't play the same. Their heart isn't in it. And so just being able to like swap around and be like, oh, I'm just going to take like some dumb AdMech list or some EC list. And, it calms people down a little bit. Which I really want. Because I don't like being seen as different than other people. I don't like being put on a pedestal. It just it's a thing with me. I've always kind of been looked down on in my life, and so when it's the opposite, and people are overestimating me. Sorry, not to get like too real, but it's just a new feeling, and I'm uncomfortable with it. So, yeah. But I couldn't armies again. He's very socially awkward. Me? Yeah, probably. Well, gotta go. Love your video intros. I don't have an intro, but okay. Thank you, I guess. Priority assets. One other thing I'll mention in the favor of tournaments. As a queer person in the hobby, I've never met one of my Krieger painted like the Wolfen SS or I play PT and Scream Day Asphalt. Yeah, the both those are very much just turbo online fucking LARPers that aren't actually in the community. First off, so I am the #1 GSC player, right? The #1 or the I don't know if she's ITC 1 right now because she's been doing a couple other armies, but the best Black Templars player is Celeste Lorch, a trans woman. And I love her to death. She is fucking a great person. She's funny. She's great at the game. She's on Team USA as an advisor with me as well. And from what I have heard and seen, the community fucking loves her as well. So it's not even like the general BT community is, you know, toxic or transphobic or whatever. It's just online Twitter motherfuckers being online Twitter motherfuckers, and then it gives us a bad rap, right? Which do occasionally pop up in stores and get a bit awkward to disentangle from. Yeah, once again, we have this thing of like the general players who don't do competitive, like a lot of times it's just like socially awkward people who just like, I don't know, man. I shouldn't talk down on all of them. I shouldn't generalize like that. That's not fair. So let me actually take my words back there. But the more problematic people that I have ever played against has always been in a pickup game and has never really been at an event. I'm trying to think if I've gone against... I think I've gone against people who like specifically have been told that I go by they, them pronouns. And like will still hit like a hard, well, he, like they're almost like trying to make it loud so like I understand that they're refusing to like do the they them thing, which fine, whatever. I'm not gonna call them out. If I can be a dick if you want to be. Like I'm not gonna make a scene of it because like dog, it ain't that important. I don't care that much about you. Yeah, that's really just about it. Like that's the most. Outside of that, it's just been like assholes who like try and cheat, but you're gonna find that in every game. And yes, to your point, they do get filtered out very quickly. Very GSC of you. Good shit, dude. It's a good sign that you were thinking about it and just don't become cocky as fuck. Listen. I will be cocky when being cocky is allowed, right? If I ever need to puff my chest a little bit, I will do so, and I'm not afraid to pull quote unquote rank, right? As cringy as that fucking sounds. When someone wants to, there's been a lot of times, funnily enough, when I'm in arguments with dumbasses, to where I'll get called a tourist, right? And they're like, oh, well, you don't actually play the fucking game. And I'll be like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm rank 1 for my faction. The fuck do you do? Huh? Because I don't see you on the fucking leaderboards. I'm going to events. I'm a part of my fucking community. Right? I'll do shit like that. But I'm not just gonna, you know, why am I bullying people in RTT? I want people to play the game that I love, right? I want other people to see the stuff that I see in this game. So, yeah. Like, being an asshole just only ever hurts you, in my personal opinion. I went 221 at my last team's event. Thanks to watching your videos, especially about deployment. Thanks for all your content. Hey, great job, dude. That's a hell of a run. And honestly, yeah, 2 wins, 2 draws, and just 1 loss. Now it's an 0-20 loss, which is rough, but like those happen, right? Yeah, like that's a great fucking job. You did great for your team, it looks like, and I'm proud that it helped, or I'm happy that it helped, dude. I haven't played against Celeste, or I have played against Celeste on TTS. She was a delight. Yeah, she's amazing. She stomped me out with Recon Guard on my first ever game on GSC. Yeah, so she was actually the one that helped Nemo invent the Recon Guard list as well. That's a very little known fact that people don't know. But she was one of the people that came up with it. Hey Floof, would love to hear more about AdMech or EC on your channel. I love your GC content, but love to hear about other factions. Love you tons and good night. You have a good night, boss. Yeah, I'm probably going to start making more stuff here soon. I have an event next week with these guys. And so more than likely, I will be doing a report on them. I was going to do a Tacoma one, but the long and the short of it, and all I'm really going to say in terms of my content, in terms of stuff that's like being recorded and can be played back. My round one opponent cheated me. He abused the clock. He abused how much time he was taking. He abused lines of sight. He abused the pivot rule, and he did a bunch of shit that I'm just very disappointed in. And if it was a random Joe Schmo, I wouldn't give a shit, but it was someone who I, at the time, thought was a close friend. And so I got very heated, and it took a lot of the energy out of it for me. And that kind of killed my want to do a video about Tacoma. Do I wish him ill? No, I don't. I just don't want to be around him. The captain of their team, messaged me and was like, I saw the shit that happened on stream. We apologize. That shit's on probation because that's not what Tundra Tactics is about. And so I'm letting them handle their shit. And I wish him the best. The man has a golden ticket, so I'm kind of the mindset of, dog, you don't need to play like this. You're just good enough. Like, fucking act like it. But the long and the short is that that game kind of took out my want to do a video on that event. Especially with also the next day going 0-2. Like, I could have made something funny about it, right? I could have talked about, like, oh, I paired into 2 other Team USA guys. They're on broken shit. I'm not. Here's the glass ceiling. Oh, well. But I think it just took the energy out of me. So I will so long as, I don't go like 0-6 at the next event, I will more than likely be doing one about my AdMech event coming up soon. So, yeah. Do you see much cheating at events? I've definitely had to call out rubber ruling, but meh. So, like, no. Like, malicious cheating, no. If Dave, who plays, like, once a month and mostly it's just at the RTTs, there's been some times of like, hey, dog, can we just double check this measurement? Or can we just double check this movement? And a lot of times, if there is something, or if there is the quote-unquote cheating, a lot of times it's some dude just getting his rule wrong. Like, even at the top end, people make mistakes. They forget shit. They don't know how interactions work. And so, sure, you could totally look at something and be like, oh, well, hey, that's not how that rule worked. How dare you? You fricked me. When in reality, it's just, he's kind of an idiot, right? And then in the nicest term of the word, like, I don't think he was an asshole. I think he was just dumb. So, in terms of like active, oh, I'm hiding my list, or I'm making up rules, or I'm cheating dice. The only other time I've ever seen like a cheater is at LVO 2 years ago, which is the one where I made top 4 and I had the really bad round 8, to where even I played sloppy, right? I had knocked over models and I was fucking up like measurements because it's day 3, and him and I are both tired, right? But then he's also saying like Vindicators have rapid fire when you're outside of 24-inch range, when all of their guns are 24-inch range, and like that. So I've probably had 3 games against like actual cheaters in my 4 years of playing the game, or 6 years of playing the game, 4 years of playing competitively. It's not that bad. What's the most egregious case of cheating you've seen? I don't know, because like there's a lot of things that I'm not involved in that I see. Like to put it in perspective, right? The Hellbrute, right? The pocket Hellbrute that people talk about. I've talked to that guy, and while I think that the FLG crew kind of needs to get their shit straight, because it's kind of like a boys club right now. Hearing him talk, he was saying like, hey, you know, I just fucked up. It was on me. It's my bad. I kind of put myself in self-exile to like, you know, make up for it. But it wasn't like intentional. I'm more than fine and willing to be like, all right, sure, I'll give you the benefit of the benefit of the doubt, right? And I'm willing to do that for most things, but also, yeah, the pocket Hellbrute, it's a joke to where someone had an extra Hellbrute in their list. It was a PBZ list back in 10th edition, right? The Abaddon Castle, to where you have crit 5s, full hit rerolls, sustained and lethal, but you have the Hellbrute in it because when you pact, he gives everything lethal, so you can select sustained. And he had written the list, and the list didn't actually have the Hellbrute in it, but he played through 5 of his 6 games with the Hellbrute, and so people called it the pocket Hellbrute. He said he had just basically forgotten to take it out, right? But, you know, when it was caught and made attention, or it was brought to his attention and the attention of the judges, you know, he conceded all his matches, and then he said he wasn't going to play at events for a year. And like, I'm more than willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, because that shit happens, man. I've got about 30 different lists on my app right now, right? And I could totally see a world to where I forget something, or I brought a different list than the models that I actually have brought at the time, right? Sure. If you were just a dumbass, fine, dog. I don't like, it's not that big of a deal. But then there are things like, do I want to name names? I don't know if I want to name the name of this person, but it is a Necrons player who has the ITC Best in Faction Award for Necrons for, I think, 2023 or 2024. I forget, but a semi-recent one, who just consistently has a, oops, I didn't realize it worked like that. Or, oops, I didn't realize that was the rule. And if it was like one time, sure, fine. Just do better next time. I don't give that much of a fuck. Go for it. But if it's something to where, why is it every 3 months you forget this? Have you been playing the whole event like this? Like, why is it that at every major, I have, like, I see that this is like being caught at one of your games? Like, you're the best. You got, for a year, you were the best Necrons player in the world. You had the most ITC points, right? You went to the, out of everyone that went to events, you won the most with your faction, basically. And you're getting like simple shit wrong? Are we really sure about that? Right? Especially when you've been called out multiple fucking times. And even at the most recent BAO, you're still getting called the fuck out. And then at Tacoma, you show up there, and even though you don't go undefeated at that one like you did at BAO, you're playing into other Team USA members, or not other Team USA, they're not on Team USA, but you're playing into Team USA members, and they're going, hey dog, that's not how that rule works. You don't get rerolls here, because this is not the closest eligible. This thing is the closest eligible. Like, what are we doing, right? And so, like, that would be my most egregious cheating, is when, yeah, there is just someone to where I have extended the goodwill, and it's someone I don't even talk to that much. I see them in passing, so I don't even have, like, the rapport with them to, like, talk to them and be like, hey, dog, you gotta clean this shit up, right? This is a bad fucking look. But, like, also at the same time, it's getting to the point to where even me as a spectator, who is on the outside, has not played against this person, can go, Jesus Christ, dude, why do I keep hearing about you? You know? Ugh. What are your thoughts on dice? I feel like my dice roll above average more often than not, but they are just normal dice. They might be weighted bad. I don't fucking know. I got no stake in that game. If, like, there are definitely dice to where, like, if
you roll that dice 10 times in a row and it rolls a 5 or a 6 every single fucking time. Maybe we go check that dice and just make sure. I'm someone to where I have about 6 different sets of dice, all from Baron of Dice or dice that people have given me. And if any dice starts rolling a little bit too hot, I fucking switch. I'm just like, nope, I don't. We're going to somewhere else, just so that we definitively know that it is like a luck thing. I'm not cheating dice, right? And I'll go back to it later. Like the same fucking dice to just be like, okay, you have a chance to like roll fucking normal now. Okay, you rolled 5 ones. Okay, sure, fine. I guess that means you are normal. You're just fucking temperamental. But it's like I'm not someone who is smart enough to figure out how to like do the microwave thing, or I don't even think the microwave thing works. But like I'm not smart enough to do dice shit, right? And I'm not gonna go fucking buy cheating dice because that's fucking insane. If I were to see someone with like to quote the very funny event that happened, if I was to go find someone who using the Eldar toilet dice, right? Dog, is everything okay at home? Like, do you really need to win that bad? Like, it's just if someone gets shown that they have weighted dice or they have cheaters dice to where it's got like multiple of the same face, like it's got multiple 5s or 6s, I'm just gonna be like, oh, what the fuck? Right? Like, why? Why do you like need to disrespect like not only me but yourself that badly? The win isn't that important. So I don't know. Take from that whatever you will on my thoughts on dice. Which is a big deal because it's the only major notable. Oh wait, Epic Club in my local community had to ban a guy from the major we run because he consistently makes mistakes every game that somehow always end up in his favor. That's the thing too, right? It's like you can make mistakes. I make mistakes, not all the time, but like semi. Like I will still run into shit. The only thing is that I know I'm not cheating because that shit will also like be to the benefit of my opponent, to where like, oh yeah, I guess your rule, like you didn't have +1 to this or whatever the fuck. I just assumed you did. Yeah, sure, fine. Like making mistakes is fine, but if it's somehow always to your benefit, dog, get the fuck out. Which is a big deal because it's the only major in a notable capital city. Oh well, actually, none of this is a big deal. Toy soldiers and shit, right? Like that's another thing, right? Is like, why are we getting so heated on a game with our little war dollies, right? Like, come on, guys. I didn't check dice. If somebody wants to bring weighted dice in a hobby game, that's for them. I played D&D, Warhammer, and Magic. I have like 7 billion dice. Yeah, same. Someone called a check on my dice, and they were fine. And I just said, brother, if you think they are, we can both roll mine, right? Yeah, that's another thing. Is like if I have a roll to where it's like, oh, I rolled 35 ups on 32 dice to wound you or whatever the fuck. Dog, roll my dice for the saves, right? Why is it when I forget a roll, it's always to my detriment? I don't think I used the reroll wounds with the Goliath truck for the entire weekend. Yeah. I mean, there aren't a lot of rules that are going to be to your benefit if you forget them, right? Most rules on data sheets are like, here is an extra thing. So that's probably why it feels that's always to your detriment. It's not really cheating, but I do find it really annoying when you point out gotchas and things you can do, like, oh, hey, I can Overwatch, and then your opponent doesn't do the same for you. Yeah, it's... I don't know. I'm also like, okay, sorry, we're finished with the painting, so we're probably going to be ending stream here pretty soon. But when it's like that, oftentimes I will just be like, hey, dog, I didn't realize you had that. I would move a little bit differently. I'm just going to move my models so that you can't do that. Okay, cool. Like, we can just be adults is often like the sentiment I will bring to interactions like that. But I mean, also, as soon as someone does that to me as well, and they're unapologetic about it, right? If they aren't cool, because I'll give the like, oh, hey, I didn't realize you could do that. Do you mind if I just change up some things? And they aren't cool about it, or specifically like they're just a dick in the process of talking about it, then I'm like, cool, dog, that's the game you want to play. We're going to play it. I'm not telling you dick all of what I can do. I'm going to wrap it when I want to wrap it. I'm going to come in on Cult Ambush the second you say you're going to the shooting phase. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck, and we can play this game, right? So either you can start being cool, or I'm gonna teach you why you should be cool. Does that make sense? I love this hobby so much, but Corona said, oh my god, speaking of rolling, my neophyte brick survived today because I rolled 10 out of 22 of my 6-ups. Jesus Christ. I love this hobby so much, but I feel so bad for the girls. I never realized until my girlfriend would occasionally go in to get herself some paint or something, she would get harassed by Nurgle's champions. Yeah, I'm very lucky to where my local has a lot of queer people and a lot of feminine people. And people are semi-normal, but there's still some people who are eager to talk to the women or femme presenting people there. If when they mention it when you're at a point where taking it back in, it kind of messes up the whole turn, so you leave it. Yeah, like when it's awkward, then it like just kind of is what it is. I don't know. That's such like a gray area. Yeah, if somebody doesn't let you take back a move when you didn't know about their stuff, that's weak. Well, so also to the other point, right? If it's something to where it's like it's a whole turn later or whatever the fuck, right? And you forgot that like their unit could advance and charge, and you like came out and you shot some stuff because you thought you were safe. Like GG, go next. You better remember next time. So it's both responsibilities to you and to them. Yeah, somebody doesn't let you take a move back when you didn't know about their stuff. That's weak. Question mark, question mark. That sounds like a toxic shop. If your girlfriend is getting harassed, boss, I don't know. I'm spoiled in Seattle. We're decent used to women in the game store. Yeah, so like it's, you know, I'm sure they're not like actively being like, hey, what's up, sugar tits, or whatever the fuck. But like, yeah, if, you know, they're just constantly talking to her and doing the like mansplaining bullshit of like, oh, so, you know, well, here's Warhammer 40,000, and in it you assemble models and you paint stuff. And I like to use plastic glue all of the time because I haven't taken a shower in so long that my body just secretes it, and so it saves me money. I'm of the mind that I will be nice and remind you until you don't do it back, and then I will match your energy. Yeah, right? I show my opponent respect until they don't show me respect, and then I go, okay, I do this better than you. It's definitely a bit rough for femme folks. I think the problem is that only takes a couple negative experiences to drive folks away. Yeah. But also at the same time, like, it is one of those things to where it takes a people, or it takes a town, it takes a community, it takes something. It takes a town to raise a kid, I think is the original phrase, or whatever the fuck. But basically, like, the whole community is responsible for this as well, right? Like, it's also on the people in the shop to, like, slap their friend on the arm and be like, dog, the fuck are you doing? Like, it takes a village, thank you. Wow, like 3 people popped in, Jesus Christ. Like, the responsibility is also on us. It's not just the shop, and it's not just like the person who is being creepy at the time. Like, you also have some type of responsibility to be like, hey dude, how about you leave the girl alone? Right? Like, curation of a community in terms of, and it's not even like kicking someone out. It might even just be making them aware that they're being fucking weird, and so they get better, right? They like figure their shit out and they stop being a fucking creep. Like, that shit needs to be pointed out so that it can be fixed. So, obviously within reason. If it's someone who's big and scary and aggressive, and they're being big and scary and aggressive towards you, it's not your fucking responsibility. But also, if that big and scary person has a friend at the shop, and that friend is not used to that shit, then that friend should be like, hey dog, you're being a fucking dick right now. I don't know. With all of that being said, my friends, I think I'm going to be calling the stream here tonight. This was a test stream, but we had 3 hours. So that was hell yeah. You know what? We'll even pivot the camera up. You get to see upside down me. Hi everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for being a part of the stream. I hope you did enjoy everything that happened here. I hope you like the little guy. Oh, I forgot they're not connected. Oh well. And yeah. So I'll be trying to do more streams like this. Probably more so during the day. just because I don't want to bug my wife whenever she's home and make it to where she just has to listen to me like yelling in the other room for 3 hours. But thank you all so much. Please like the stream, all that kind of stuff. Hi Australian Floof and good night. Oh, thank you, buddy. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and call it right there. I will see you all next time. Goodbye. Woo!